Well, everyone, if there are people, welcome. This is Iron Kingdoms tonight. That's right. Instead of cards DMing, it is I, GMZilla. The world is doomed as we know it.
Dio?
Dio. So tonight's adventure will be in the system of Iron Kingdoms. Iron Kingdoms by Privateer Press. It's going to be a custom adventure because that is how I like to do. Currently, the setup for this lovely entourage is that everyone is a warpborn skinwalker, which is basically a career that lets you be a werewolf. And in Iron Kingdoms, you get 2 careers, so everyone's that and a little bit of something else. So there's still diversity, it's just that everyone's also pretty good with the great weapons, because great weapons are nice. And currently, I am helping people get multitudes of dice. There is a stack of dice bags in front of me.
Yes, I have my dice. Thank you.
And so it begins.
Yeah, you said we needed a bunch of dice, so I just grabbed a bunch of dice bags, took out the 6s, and left you the rest.
You know, I will gobble these up, thank you.
You also said we needed a wolf figure.
Yeah, there's one on the board. There's several on the board, actually. There's still 4 left. So everybody, make sure to grab your figurine if you need other figurines for other things you may have acquired. Pets, monsters, curses, whatever. Ooh, my food has arrived.
I might have to call this a bad flashback for me.
Should I get this reference?
No.
No?
Yes. This is the character that nearly killed me.
Mm-hmm.
As in, this was my token.
Something was just pointed out to me. So, of course, we're playing on Tabletop Simulator, which, thank you, Berserk Games, for existing, and Tabletop Simulator for existing. We are using the Gentleman's Table, which is a mod that I downloaded. Everything else is base, because I couldn't get things to work together in a nice, meshy manner. I do not own any of the things before you. I wish I was talented enough to make things or patient enough to learn how to make things. So, behold, these are not mine, but we're using them because they're free. And also Tabletop Simulator because we bought that and it's best way to...
we're not allowed to meet in person anymore.
Yeah, the whole plague. And yeah, we're trying this out. I'm used to Roll20, but trying new things, always fun, always good. And so far, I like the minis. I like that they move. I like that I can kill them. Also, they just look pretty. They actually look pretty good. Wish there were more, but what you gonna do? Okay, has everyone grabbed what they needed?
I think so.
I have a total of 96 in a mini.
And Chin, I know you're good because I see your stuff.
Aye.
Frank!
Who is currently muted?
Oh no.
We had a Frank at some point.
We had a Frank. Oh, nah, is he AFK?
Hey, Frank, come on.
Well, I can see that Frank has 7 d6 of one color and an 1/8 of a second color. I don't know if there's a mini on that end of the table yet, so...
Click and drag, click and drag.
Click and drag, click and drag.
Did I hear a Frank come back?
Yes, Carol
Plug
brought
it
me
in.
toilet paper.
Oh!
She said it was the last 2 things of toilet paper in the entire store, and she brought me one of them.
All right. I'm
so
sure the
excited.
parable of Carol will come up for the stream a little bit later.
The parable of Carol.
Carol's the best.
Huh. Hey, Frank, have you grabbed a wolf yet?
We
It
put a
looks
wolf
like
in
someone
front of
grabbed
him.
one for me.
You put a wolf in front of him? Oh,
Yes,
glorious!
We have wolfed him.
You have gave him the fuzzes. Alrighty. So without further ado, I believe it is time to clear the board, which I believe is the sack icon.
Yes.
All right.
believe
Yes.
So.
It's also really subtle, but I have recolored the base of my werewolf brown.
It might
Okay.
eat those
Oh.
2. Yeah, it did eat the 2 wolves that are on the table already.
Oh,
Yes.
yep. That was the point. They were extras, I believe.
Aha.
That's why I told everyone to grab theirs.
Look at you.
I even pulled my brown initiative tracker out.
Oh,
don't know.
yay!
I don't know how useful that's going to be, but hey,
I mean, initiative's still a thing. It's definitely still a thing.
it is. I don't know if we're going to get numbers up to, I guess, 30, but
What the fuck? Why are there
right click
characters
and
coming out of
search
this?
in there.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Also, the last time I brought one of those out of a bag, it broke the table.
We
Oh.
also had a lot of mods going on, and they were not happy that they all existed in the same spot.
I cannot seem to extract anything. I think it might be a 1 person at a time thing.
I could see that being a thing.
We'll just assume I have initiative 28. We'll be good.
Because I always go first.
Oh, right, it was a pre-gen character that I had dragged out.
Apparently, we have a wolf
Nope,
named
nope,
Steve.
Wait,
Oh,
where are
no,
those going?
I was going to put them off into the corner.
I'm gonna put them back in the bag.
If they will.
I
go
was
back in the
trying
bag.
to drag and bring them back
point.
into a...
Ah, there we go. I put it back in the bag.
I
Oh,
tucked
different bag.
that one into the non-essentials.
Ah, or just hiding them in other places. It's like when you're sweeping and then you lift up the rug and sweep it all under the rug.
Yeah, see,
Oh,
it's
right.
okay.
We've got an underneath to this table right now, so we can hide things under there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just-
you mean until
just-
we lose it somehow?
Yeah, there is also a floor, so until the floor drops out from underneath us, we can throw things off.
Which I think that happened last time.
Yes.
Yep. Inextricably. Inexplicably.
So if I look over and press the L on the floor, do you think it'll drop?
John?
Ian?
I believe there is a phrase for that. Can we not? It did. That is the strange.
Well, what did you... I'm also going to drag this potentially cleric sheet off the table.
Because there is so little content for Iron Kingdoms out there. Hey! Alrighty. So, is everyone set up? Are we good?
Yeah,
Good?
sure.
I think
can
we
figure out
are.
what the hell I'm doing from now, I guess.
There's probably a couple of character things to go over, but hey.
Yeah, there especially like what you guys decided for weapons. I wasn't entirely certain what the hell Ian was
Oh,
doing yet.
actually,
yeah.
that is a good point. Let's actually go around the table, give brief introductions, because you guys are supposed to have been working together for, about a year or more.
I was gonna say, what do you want in a brief introduction?
Name a very, very, 10-word, very brief description of personality and what other details you want in there. I think I already said general description. What your gear is, like what your loadout is, and your 2 careers.
Yeah, I'm still assembling gear, so we'll get there.
It's okay. We don't have to start with you.
What
Okay.
list do we want to go on? Left around the table and start with Nikolai, or top down on the who's in the call list?
You can
What's the key combination to change scaling again?
Page up, page down, plus minus, control scroll. I don't know.
right click and go
Plus
to scale.
minus.
I usually right-click. Yeah. Hey, Chin, I believe in you.
I don't.
We're gonna go counterclockwise.
There we go.
Sorry about that. So I am Magnus Greywolf. The two careers I took is the Skinwalker and then the Warlock of the Circle. So I have a Wold Guardian, which is a big old construct of stone and a little bit of roots. Coming in with plate mail and a greatsword. Got some spell casting as a warlock. And what was the other thing to cover?
No, you're playing.
That'd be
Spellcaster.
bit of personality / backstory, like no more than 10 words, just to keep things brief and quick.
Sure. Magnus is pretty well reserved, kind of on the quieter side, at least during the day. He takes it's kind of like which came first, the Wold or him. They have similar personalities of quiet and kind of stoic.
Nice. Okay.
Next.
Cards.
All right, I am Eldon. I am in trophies of kills here. Yeah.
Yep. Obviously not overcompensating.
Nice. I like it. Ready. Next on our list is Ian.
Yeah, we don't have a character sitting in the white slot out here today.
Nope.
So, I haven't nailed down a personality for Freykin Fairwain just yet. But I had taken the Skinwalker career into it's Wolf of Ouroboros. And I will be playing the skilled archetype. I think I'm going for being the frontline fighter. That's, of course, when we're out scouring the land as a party. Back at, I presume, our rather secluded village, I've been working as the smith, and I've taken a couple of points into craft with Austin's permission, pole arms. So anything with a haft and a blade at the end of it, I can put it together for you. Theoretically. I've also been, when not at the shop, looking into the lore of Ouroboros, and I've started being able to actually channel some magic into our weapons. Not great at it yet, but it's a start. I've got a little bit shorter, chunkier build. I've got written down wiry, kind of a dusty brown tone to skin. Kind of a mottled black shoulder-length hair, and a short, wiry beard. And again, we'll circle back to this. My weapon of choice is a cleft great axe, which I've murdered more than a few things with.
Gotta love that axe murder. Decapitation all the time. Alrighty. Next is Silent Death.
I really should change that name one of these days. Put that together. I'm still trying to find where Skinwalker is in the book. I know it's somewhere. But anyway.
I think it's in Wild Unleashed.
There we go. Anyway, name for the character would be Luna Celine. And personality type, I actually have it listed on there. Come on, Scout, Wolf, Ditz. Pretty much describes it. Slightly airheaded character, mostly for the hell of it. Very, very weirdly positive, kind of secluded. Likes running ahead very far, doing stupid shit. Careers would be Skinwalker and Scout. Fighting style would be primarily tries to stay as far away as possible. Ranged weapons are a good thing, although there is a spear involved if it needs to be.
Honestly, I'm surprised you didn't go sorcerer and just fireballed everything.
I do that in another campaign. I'm good.
Ready? Next is Beard Lord Nikolai.
Alright. I am playing Steve King. And no, there's no relation. He's a unassuming scout, but he's good at what he does. He's a skinwalker scout using a great bow that is very ruined out. And he also has a cleft spear. He's kind of shifty looking, long black hair. Picture Keanu Reeves, but shiftier.
So, hobo Keanu Reeves?
Hobo Keanu Reeves.
That's I was almost expecting a Shia LaBeouf reference.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf reference?
Oh hell yeah!
Watch out for the bear trap.
Oh, this is swell. Was there anything else, Frank?
Nope. That's about all for Steve King.
And I think that's everyone.
Uh-huh.
Ready? And of course, I am the game master.
You are
I am the
game
one
master.
that says what do, how do, and whether or not it's canon. Also, I am, I guess, rule lawyer, although we're all fairly new to the system, so there will be a lot of BSing and just in-the-moment calls. For anyone watching, if you do notice we're doing a rule wrong, we may not change it in that instance, but for future learning, feel free to post something.
Also, if we are doing a rule wrong, it is slightly possible we're doing that on purpose because these rules are something.
There are some aspects of Iron Kingdoms I do not agree with, but could be that I also read them wrong. Either way, it is time to role play! Alrighty, so you guys are members of an elite attack squad working under a Blackclad, which is an elite druid in the Circle Orbros. His name is Samuel Korg. And he currently is operating in a secretive church in this village. The church on the outside looks to be a simple chapel to the Signarin god Maro, who is the god of magic. But secretly, it is dedicated to the Devourer Worm, the beast of all shapes, basically the ultimate predator, aka the main god of the Circle Orbros. And what is mainly there for in the village of Grimblewald. No, that's too familiar with something else. That is way too familiar with something else. We'll get a village name later, whatever, screw it. I've lost it in my notes. So, yeah, Grimblewald is way too serious. That's copyright. Sorry! So, in this village, what this church and what you guys work on is infiltrating human society, trying to dismantle not only Signarin threats to the natural order, but to also pick at the evil people of the Menoth Church, your sworn enemies. The basically god of let's build walls and burn everything that's a heretic.
Oh.
Yeah. They really, really hate anyone involved in Circle Orbros. However, there have been issues. Other Blackclads and other dedicated warriors of the Circle have been dealing with attacks on sacred sites. You have helped in a few of these attacks. You have stopped some Signarans from raiding a temple and getting an Orgoth artifact. The Orgoth are basically this ancient civilization that ruled this entire continent with an iron hand and practiced dark necromancy. The Empire has since fallen, and has been fallen for many thousand years. However, it is very much believed, especially by the Circle, that the Orgoth live in undeath in their tombs, and if anyone were to disturb them or take any of their cursed artifacts, they could release a whole new reign of this never-ending empire. And it was as you were returning from one of these missions that you've been summoned by Blackclads Samuel in the basement of the church where it is dedicated to its true god, the Devourer Worm.
Ooh.
So yeah, you guys have introduced yourselves. You've been working as a team for at least a year now, probably more. You're not super like legendary badasses where anyone whispers your name and they immediately gets terrified. You're still working on that reputation. You're working on getting known enough that even the highest ranking Blackclads would hire you. That if anyone roaming the wild would even whisper your name, it'd be a taboo. You aren't quite there yet.
Steve.
Oh boy.
Well, you're the one that said it.
I do not claim ownership of the whisper of Stephen.
No, Steve.
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 Now is when I have to ask, is Steve glorious?
John.
But anyway,
Is this Shaw?
you guys were called into the basement. As you descend, it is daytime, so you guys aren't necessarily wolfed out. In fact, it's very much encouraged that you're not right away. Walking in daylight in the streets is not necessarily a good thing, although you could potentially get away with it in this village. Many of the higher-ranking individuals of the town are actually involved with the Circle Orboros and have made sure that there's plenty of warning whenever guards could pop up, but you never know if there's ever a secret investigator or a tax collector who came in unannounced and had a schedule. So you don't want to blow the cover. That and
He's the tax man.
Damn taxman.
you guys can do a mission to eat him later.
So we've
That
got
sounds
more or
fun.
less a strict curfew in place to try and mitigate untoward events of just like, no, he's just got a really convincing suit.
Just to clarify, our wolf form is not by choice, right? It's only at night.
During the day, it can be by choice. It can either take a full action to do, or you can use a feat point to shift quickly. But as soon as I think it's 2 moons. Yeah, as soon as the 2 moons rise, you transform.
Ah.
Gotcha.
Maybe there's 3. I'll have to look at that later. Either way, the multiple moons, as soon as they rise, you turn. And then you're stuck like that until sunrise.
No. We're not stuck like that. They're stuck with us like that.
Truth. Ready. Well, as you approach the usual guards, which are these figures bound, made out of twigs, bound in vine and other adhesives that you could find in the wild. You guys have worked with them enough that you recognize these as mannequins, druidic creations, somewhat like the wolds, but smaller, and not usually bound as war beasts. They typically only work as guards if when you post stones that they're bound to. As long as the stones stay erect, these constructs stay sentient and protective. However, they're familiar with a lot of you and let you all pass. But you can assume that if someone like, a bandit or a thief tried to go down there for any reason, they would probably be skewered and torn apart. Because they got twig claws! And branches hurt. They hurt kids.
Ever
This
walked
is-
into Buckthorn? Yeah, they can.
Exactly. So,
This is the equivalent of not getting carded at your local liquor store, right?
I'm not carded at my local liquor store.
Speaking
There's
of,
you guys. And then he went mute. You know, that is fair. I mean, what's Drunken Adventures?
What's a
the
drunken
channel?
adventure stream without this
Without
sound?
drinking. Nice.
yeah,
Yes,
the bottle
I
I
know,
grabbed does
I
not
know.
have that.
Could we have
short
that
sound,
happen
but
whenever anyone subscribes or donates?
That's
Just
what we were talking about doing that with.
God,
again,
that's
for non-isolation purposes.
Mm.
It's not that smooth uncorking. We can edit
Al-
that out.
I only have screw caps over here, so I cannot contribute to the sound effects as much.
Just gonna
Which
take-
reminds me, I owe the normal play area at least one bottle of mead. I need to do that.
What?
All right, so we are down here
Yep.
with
With Samuel.
Samuel Korg.
And currently he is standing behind an altar. There are stones with runes on the table before him. He is currently, as you can tell, a bit focused. His eyes are glowing green, runes are coming from his hands, and moving back and forth between his hands and the stones. Seems to be in communion with something. After a pause, the runes stop glowing. His eyes return to their normal brown color. And he makes eye contact with each of you individually before starting. Also, Chin, I have a sneaking suspicion that your wold is stored down here during not combat purposes.
Probably, as long as there's enough space for it.
I am pretty sure they could store quite a few.
Sure.
What's the size difference between the Wold and I don't know, us?
The wall
the wold
should
is
be a
a
large base. A large base. You guys should be medium bases, so not as small as like let me just grab a normal human-sized mini.
I'm playing small-ish, but I've
You
been
guys should be actually you guys should be about all the same size as Steve.
Steve.
Also, Steve King. Did you make a Stephen King reference with your character?
He said he didn't.
Well, he said his character has no relation. All right, let me boop that down a little bit.
Okay.
A 62-inch human is probably shorter than Steve.
You just gave me just the weirdest mental image, just poking it in the face until it shrinks in size.
Yay for shenanigans.
Can he say the size of Steve? Someone made Steve smaller. Steve is now bigger. Steve is blue. That is the size you want.
So let me put it this way: none of you should be this big.
Yeah, I'm not entirely clear what scale you're trying to pull off here.
I feel like it should probably be scaled down then, because I don't think it's that much bigger than us.
No, I don't think so either. It's not like it's a freaking gargantuan over here. I mean, that'd be a way bigger base. We don't need any
Only the most important
building-sized
thing.
wolds.
I feel like that's a wold on a trampoline. The reason I ask is being underground. Is it just tight passage getting in and out for especially the walled?
There is another exit in which the walled specifically takes.
Yeah, I was figuring that there'd be a dope second passage.
It actually opens up into the sewer system, which was built in this in the village, mainly the central town part of the village, not in the nearby farms. But there are some underground tunnels that you guys can use. Occasionally there are some vermin in there that need to be destroyed, but frequent enough traffic, they're not a problem. Because that's usually where you guys come out of at night.
I dislike vermin duty. It's hard to swing an axe at a thing that's at ankle height.
Devil rats are a bit bigger than ankle. Think knee height.
Yep, that's
RUS.
It's just like, I hate
yes.
that. But then it's like, oh, well, if you actually need me out here, fine.
Anyway.
No further complaints.
Anyway.
I always thought that was a pun. Okay.
Samuel looks up at all of you.
That's dangerous.
We have a mission, he says in his usual deep, slow, and purposeful voice. Currently, he is wearing, of course, the traditional black robes of the Blackclad, and he has a mask over the bottom half of his face. It's black cloth. The only other things that are not full black cloth on him are some armored bits on his shoulders, around his waist. There is a metallic belt, and he has some other pads on him just for general protection. Otherwise, he's typically wearing light, ornate, black cloaks and such. But he gestures to all of you. There have been incidences. The most recent is that a small caravan of our operatives were ambushed with a merchant caravan, and a relic was stolen. We do not know who, but the only survivor of the attack claimed that there were undead. What?
Typing intensifies.
No, I just like the what?
Nah, there was a whisper. What?
Oh, it was Kelsey running by me.
Steve.
Oh.
God damn it, Nick.
Anyway, with these increasing undead attacks, we need to find the source. And now that they have one of the artifacts, we need to make sure that it is returned. Find out the source of the undead, dispose of the corpses, and return the artifact. It is an old Orgoth dagger. We know not its powers, but we believe it may be involved in some sort of ritual. You will know that it is the dagger, for it is made out of a black metal with green edging and details. It also has a face on the hilt. Find the dagger, return it to us, wipe out the undead, and whatever master commands them. You will need to find where they're located and who may be involved.
Fine,
I recommend during the daytime. Speak with the locals. They may have heard things, seen things. You may also wish to investigate the path The road to the north, 3 miles along the way. That is where the attack occurred. There may be other clues as well. If undead are roaming and attacking, there may be traces in the wilderness. If you succeed, there will be plenty reward.
Cool.
Are there any questions, my soldiers?
We shall do as you ask.
I'm in.
Understood.
Remains
Quiet, Nod.
uncharacteristically silent.
All right, let's head out. Let's do this.
You got it, boss.
Ah. Oh, wait, are you the chieftain? I can't remember.
Cards is playing the chieftain character, yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Sure, boss. Fine.
Okay. So, mechanically speaking, breaking it down, you guys have several options for how to find details. The more details that you guys can find separately, the more the picture comes together, and the sooner you'll be able to find what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's right. That's what this game is.
So, I've listed a few things that you can do. However, if there's anything else you can think of that might aid in this, you are welcome to do those things as well. So feel free to discuss amongst yourselves who's going where, who's doing what. Depending on what skill sets everyone has, you may want to diversify or work together.
So we don't initially know where this is. We just know it's somewhere. Follow the North Road.
North Road, 3 miles. There's definitely a scene. You'll be able to notice all the blood and everything.
Oh yeah, because we're looking for a patrol that got butchered, right?
A merchant caravan that had Circle
Caravan.
Orboros agents hidden in it that were trying to transport an artifact.
Got it.
I will check the road. I will be very sneaky.
I was gonna say I'm pretty good at tracking and survival and detection, so
I think most of us are.
Yeah, I think it sounds like our best bet is to check out the scene and see if we can find any clues from there.
Yep.
Should we have someone stick around and ask townspeople? Just to kind
I'm
of
not good
split
with
up?
townspeople.
I'm not either.
From a character's perspective, I ought to be the best at that, being a kind of a crafts person here. Just, I didn't see anything in the skills list of just like, yeah, and here's how you talk to people or roll to gather information from them.
Yeah, they.
Unless we want to severely bend survival because this is how I make my money.
I'll see and we'll bend something. Let me just check quick.
Or yeah, could I use or as command? Is that like issuing orders, or could I use that as a charisma side to it?
Oh, wait. Would you be able to use your thing with this?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. If you're making a plan, doesn't that help all of us?
Yeah, it doesn't really say what the plan has to be or entitled. If I say that our plan is going to be gather information from various sources, go to the site where the caravan was, and then gather more clues.
Yeah, or if you wanted to be Fred here, we'll split up, gang.
Oh no.
I mean, that's technically your role, but that would apply to it. You make a plan, you give orders, and then if people are doing those things, they will get a boost.
Okay. So we'll start in town for an hour, maybe an hour or two, talk to someone we know. I'm thinking I'll check out. There should be a local guards, right?
Yep.
Some report must have come through.
Yep, there are some local standard militia guards that you see in most towns, and there are a few specifically Signaran trenchers. Let me just see here. There is investigation, which does involve intellect. I would allow that.
Yeah, investigation's probably what that would be.
There's also interrogation, if you guys can find a no good person. I will say just for diversity, so that way not everyone's clumping together. For anyone magically inclined, which I was honestly expecting at least 2, but one will do. I will let you maybe attune to magic, making an arcane roll, and see if you can detect anything.
I don't know
Well,
why I don't see
I guess
investigate in this.
I
book,
have
but-
magic, so I might as well. do that.
Investigate. Investigation isn't one that they have listed on there. Like, they don't list all the skills, otherwise there would be no room. Which makes me think that maybe the sheets weren't outlined properly.
Well, no. I had to look in Unleashed Core rather than Core.
Core.
Wait, Iron Kingdom's core does not have investigation.
It goes from forgery to interrogation to law,
That's weird.
whereas Unleashed goes fell calling, interrogation, investigation, lockpicking.
Oh, and jumping.
Huh.
Consistency.
Yeah, well, I think Iron Kingdom's lore, the reason why it wasn't just a little expansion book, is I think it was an errata to Full Metal Fantasy, because I noticed the experience tracks are a little different too.
Oh, was I maybe looking at a different experience track than some other things? Okay. It's built. We're gonna roll with
Just
it, but
provide it
okay.
to work. We're gonna make this work, damn it.
We've got virtual dice, and we're gonna roll them.
God damn it, yeah. Okay, so just to recap for my mental sake, and so I can jot it down on my scrap sheets. Who's all going where and doing what?
I would like to go to the guards. Start there.
Okay.
This is like a town, yeah.
Yeah, it is a
So I just
village town somewhere in between that. It's got like, it doesn't have a huge wall around it, but it does have like a wooden pole fence
Yeah.
where they're like 3 feet tall, maybe a few of them jutting out here and there just to prevent, random warp wolf attacks that may or may not be related to your faction. Who knows about that?
Shame.
I was gonna say random warp wolf attacks. I wouldn't know anything about that.
They're not random. They were perfectly planned.
So I was gonna say we're in the town, so I dart off between some of the houses and sort of disappear.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Look,
So it sounds like we're just all gonna start in the town and then all move out from there. Is that right? Chief?
Yeah, and we'll meet up in a couple hours, compare notes, and then head out to the site.
Okay,
Steve
so-
is specifically gonna talk to like the less privileged in town, people without home.
Okay.
His kind.
Here's how I'm going to do this for simplicity's sake. Starting with Nick, I'm going to see what he's doing in town, go around everyone, see what you're doing in town, and then going to go clockwise. And then once we're done with town, I'm going to start with Chin, see what you guys are doing outside of town, and then go counterclockwise. Does that work for everyone?
yes.
Okay, neat. Nick, you're starting it off. So, you said you're going to go talk to the lower economical people.
Yes. So he'll start wandering around and look for people that might have a handout or,
I'm assuming you don't have any ranks in this because I kind of forgot to recommend that to everybody. Haha, my bad. So roll me an
Ranks in
intellect,
what?
please. Ranks in various skills that are for, humaning.
How about
I've got ranks
detection?
and
Well, just because we don't have ranks in it doesn't mean we can't use it, right?
That is correct.
This goes off the parent.
But overall, most of them would be
how many
intellect.
ranks do you start with in skills anyway?
the bonus that it tells you in your careers, and then
Thank
you
you.
can then
Oh
you
yeah, I've
add
already
them
got that
leveling up.
bonus. Okay.
So you take the level and you roll that many die.
Nope. You roll 2d6,
Add to it.
and then you add your intellect to it. For a skill, you would also add your other bonuses. If you have something that gives you an additional die or a boost, that add dice. Matt, with your special ability, does it just give a passive little number boost, or does it add a die?
Adds a die.
Okay, so you're rolling 3 dice. Now, yep, and then you probably want to shake him more than that.
I right-clicked and hit roll.
Otherwise, you can also, if you hold the left click, you can grab them, and then you can shake the mouse, and it'll actually shake them.
Should we set up what we want a roll to look like in this game? Like, do we want a roll to go all the way across the tabletop, or is using the dice pads good?
I can bring it out.
Dice pads, good enough. Like, I don't need to watch your rolls. The chat will tell me what you get.
Well, the chat will tell you what we get if we use the little pads in front of us.
I think he just means we just roll our dice sitting in front of us.
I care not.
There's these too.
If I'm worried about anything, we'll address it there.
Sounds good.
So I got a roll to 10 plus 3, 13.
Okay, so 13. You're able to talk to some people, and you hear some stories about some dark spirits out in the woods. Sounds like there might be some things popping out of nowhere and then disappearing again. Some people are worried that they might come and take their kids. So they've been having their kids come in long before sundown, like a couple hours before sundown, just to be sure, and no one goes into the woods by themselves.
Did it sound like it was happening in a particular area, or is there any commonalities, continuity between the stories, or is it just kind of general hysteria?
It sounds like a mix of general hysteria mixed with folklore. You're not familiar with spirits and stuff, so this all just kind of seems like normal small town jargon, honestly.
So no actual, like, my son got fucked up over
Excuse me.
there.
No specific details, just a lot of like there are some details of like my cousin's sister's best friend's nephew saw this.
Twice for
Yeah, just the several degrees of not interaction. So typical folklore jargon, honestly.
In other words, nothing useful.
Let me just say, all dialogue has some information. Whether it's useful to the investigation is up to you. Okay. John.
So I ran off between a bunch of houses, yeah?
Yeah.
Trying to find someone who's just somewhere, potentially, like, I guess today you'd normally call them homeless, vagrants, whatever. Trying to see if I can find someone like that.
Well.
Or, barring that, someone just, like, sitting out on a porch or something.
Okay, let me see your luck.
My luck?
Yep.
I do not for the life of me remember what that is.
It's nothing that you control.
Oh.
Sometimes when people just like, I want to see what I randomly bump into. I kind of roll to see what you randomly bump into. Sometimes what you're looking for, sometimes you run into an ogre.
I'd be impressed if we ran into an ogre in the middle of town.
Ogrins are common mercenaries. But who knows? Who knows? Only the dice know, aka I know, because in the end it's going to be my decision anyway. Left click. That was supposed to sound funnier than it was. Laugh, damn you!
We need a laugh track for that.
I appreciate the robot laugh. It is very appreciated. Okay. Okay, so, John?
Yes?
While roaming through the streets trying to see who you bump into, you do bump into someone. There is a Dean Worthington, who you recognize as the town drunk. His coat His coat is open. His shirt is like half tucked in, half loose. His trousers are not fully fastened. One leg is pulled up higher than the other.
That is exactly the kind of person I was looking for.
And even though it is early afternoon, you can tell by his smell, by his appearance, and by the fact that he can only focus on you with one eye at a time. He hammered. He really hammered.
I'd be disappointed if he wasn't.
The inability to be focused with more than one eye. Now that is very hammered. Now let's find out if he can speak in some coherent fashion. So I ask him about what's going on in the woods.
I don't know what. No. What's a bay?
Why? Why are they bad?
They're full of critters. I went out there one day and the little guy, like my knee, you told my knee. He came up and he stole my pants.
Sir, okay. He stole your pants. What was this creature like?
Small, big nose, big. He jumped through a door.
Did you have your pants stolen by a rat?
No. Shh. No, devil rat today. No, fucking gremlin. And he begins to wander off, stumbling, occasionally walking into walls.
I had already written down gremlins before you said gremlins.
Hold on, I'm going to do something. I don't think this is how the system is supposed to work, but I'm doing it anyway. Don't worry about it. It's just to see what I'm doing.
I mean, fair enough. If it's
critical failure, I fall directly on my ass laughing.
he begins to spiral around where he's standing, just like fucking crows, leave me be.
That doesn't help matters.
And he spins around so much that he just falls over on his ass and just sits there, staring at nothing for a good while.
I think we should pass to the next person.
Oh, I love town drunks. Sometimes helpful, sometimes not.
Sometimes.
Okay, Matt.
All right. So, if we've been doing this for about a year, I would know something or some rank in the guard, I assume. We've done at least some kind of interactions with.
Yeah. You know, Corporal Scott, or as his fellow trenchers call him, Scotty.
Okay. By chance, would he be on duty? I'd be able to run into him?
Let's see what the dice say. Dice, come hither and do the shaky. He is on duty. Currently by one of the entryways, there is an attempt at a gate put down. It is meant to keep out animals and to prevent horses from just walking through it, but not much more than that.
I was gonna say, it didn't really keep out the animals this time.
And he is currently leaning against his post, asleep. His rifle being used to prop him up.
Please
How
tell me
well
this is
do I know
Schultz.
this,
Please tell me
Scott?
this is Schultz. Please tell me this is Schultz.
You know that although He is very proud of his position and proud to be serving the military. He is, how you say, prone to be a sloth. He's basically, he falls asleep on duty. There are times where he'll run off to go get food without getting someone to replace his position.
So he's half-assed.
He's half-assed. He's very half-assed.
Oh, Shaw does not like that. No, Shaw does not like that one bit. So I will walk up to him, somewhat quietly, mostly quietly. I'll get within about a foot and a half of him, and just nice loud, "Scott, good to see you."
He jumps up and drops his rifle, which falls to the ground. Luckily, it doesn't shoot. But he almost falls right on his face. Sir, oh, it's you.
Glad you're keeping us all safe in here.
Doing my part. Oh.
Have you had any difficulties lately? Any more attacks?
There was that caravan that was attacked. I think that was yesterday.
What caravan?
Caravan of merchants. We're not sure if it was animals or not. The attacks don't... We saw the bodies. They did not look like normal animals, but I don't know.
You don't say. Do you know anything else about this?
I mean, none have been spotted for quite a while, but maybe it's warp wolves?
I mean, could have been bandits as all. They're easy pickings in these woods.
Yeah. It was a suspiciously unguarded caravan, so that was strange.
Unguarded? Really?
Yeah, there was maybe one guard at most. A few of the merchants who seemed a little standoffish said that they didn't need any guards and they weren't willing to pay for it. They had something in a box that they needed to get here. Apparently it was some ancient text of Marrow. I don't know.
Probably unimportant.
Yeah.
I assume, was it still there? Was that missing?
We haven't really done an inventory since the people who could vouch for the items are dead, and a lot of documentation that was with them has been ruined during the attack. There was a lot of blood.
So it's all still there, just laying out in the road.
We collected some of it. We had to move what could be blocked. We took the bodies. We're trying to figure out who they all are and where they should go to be buried, which we need to figure out soon. Otherwise, they're going to start to rot.
That's a good point and very appreciative on that. Where did you put the rest of the stuff then?
We have it in the barracks. We're trying to figure out what's what, who's who's. Some of the merchants had family here or had houses where more information was stored. So once we figure out who all was who and what all is what, we'll be able to take care of things from there.
But missing that whatever important thing?
I mean, Church of Marrow here hasn't really mentioned it. So, I mean, it mustn't have been too important. Maybe it was just a special copy or something.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe the goddess signed it herself.
That or just some trinket they're trying to extort more. I don't know, whatever. Good talking to you, Scott.
Yeah.
All right.
He gives you a salute as you leave, like a haphazard 2-finger salute, like 2 fingers to the brow and.
Cool. I'll give him like a half-ass nod back. All right.
Okay. Next is Chin.
So you mentioned that one of the more magically inclined would be able to do something. Was that in town or out of town?
Depending on where you do it, you would get different results.
Ooh. Hmm. Well, I want to stay in town right now, so I guess what exactly, like, is it something that I would need to hide, or is it something that could possibly be done?
Well, I mean, magic users aren't exactly illegal. It's just that you would be in a bit of a trance for a while, and there'd be runes on you.
I guess is there anything stopping me from just doing it in the room that we first met in?
Nothing stopping you, and if anything, having your source of magical power next to you would probably be good.
I'll do that. So what kind of
Arcane
check
roll.
would it be? Arcane.
So 2d6 plus 3d6 technically, and arcane.
2, 3. Fucking all of you. There we go. And add all of them up, then add arcane.
Yeah.
20.
Nice. Okay. So you connect the magical flow of the world. Luckily for you, this church is built on a ley line, so you're able to connect to other ley lines and get a general feel. You feel what I could only really describe as a dark spot along ley lines to the northeast of here. You're not sure how far, but it's almost like a foul smell on the wind, but sensing it in your mind. That, and there's something else that you sense. Old, but minuscule. But you're having trouble getting a focus on it. It appears to be shifting. It's not staying in one spot or one area for long.
Interesting. Well, I will certainly keep the northeast spot in my mind for when we reconvene.
Alrighty, and then as per our agreements, we would be starting with Chin for out of town, but did you guys want to meet up and share what you found before figuring out where you're going to go outside of town?
Yeah, I think that was kind of part of the plan.
Would love to.
Wait, did I skip you, Kale?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just realized. Oh, no, I'm bad. Okay. Ian, I'm sorry. Please do your thing.
My thing was going to be stopping back by. I think it's actually just my hut, just on the very outskirts of town, where the bottom part looks like it could be a Fletcher's shop, but it doesn't have any of the the actual fletchings. And if a person who made bow and arrow or a person who made arrows was actually more interested in spears. So probably a small supply of ingots on the one corner. And I think a lot of that is just like reshape. I don't think he casts anything. It's all done by lengthening and stretching. Passes the closed today sign. I don't think he's an understudy, but what I wanted to do was look up some of my merchant suppliers and see if any of them knew any of the merchants that were in this convoy, knew potentially what the manifest was, knew anything more about this thing that went missing.
Okay, I'll give you two options for what you could roll: investigation, which would be an intellect, or detection, which would be perception.
And I actually have ranks in detection, but I'm gonna guess that I get different results based on which skill I roll.
A little bit. They're close enough that I would allow it for going through your own paperwork.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll leverage my contacts in this town and use detection. So it's 3d6 because this is part of the plan?
That is correct.
Okay. And intellect 4 and 2 skill ranks. Let me actually zoom in and hit that button. If the dice can figure out what they want to roll. 13 plus 6 for 19.
Okay, so 19. What you're able to find is that there are 3 merchants with whom you would normally do trade with who were sending supplies. Looks like the merchants themselves were not in the caravan, but based on your records, they were supposed to be getting supplies from this caravan.
Mhm.
One of your ore suppliers, a dwarven merchant by the name of Rudolph. And no, he is not red-nosed. There is an Iosan. Think of them kind of like high elves. An Iosan merchant who actually sells you books on various runes and their significance. She is a local librarian.
And I can get my own sticks from the woods.
Yes. Although there is a lumberjack in town that you do occasionally have contact with, whether for supplies or, I just need a lot of good twigs today.
I would definitely go for the Iosan. Speak with her.
Already. Then I'll let you do that. You're able to find her shop, which is called Baubles, Books, and dang it. Baubles, Books, and what was the third one?
Bitches.
Yeah, let's go with that. Bottles, books, and bitches.
Baubles, Books, and Baubles and Books. How about that? Let's go with Baubles and Books
I was
for
gonna
now.
say baubles, books, and bestiaries. I don't know.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, that works. Can't find what I actually had in mind, but Baubles, Books, and Bestiaries. A general bookstore and alchemical supplies of the legal variety specifically.
Yeah, there's no backside to the sign. It's just like and various illicit dealings. Yeah, on the backside of the sign it says and bootleg.
Well, as you walk in, you hear the bell from the door go off, jingling ever so, jingly. You walk in.
More upbeat than my shop would ever have.
You walk in, and there are about 6 different bookshelves, double-faced, full of books. And there are shelves all on the side that have different vials and other alchemical equipment. Some things just good for, honestly, soup brewing. A mixture of kitchen supplies and alchemy supplies.
Okay. Could I retroactively make a roll to see if I would know if this relic that we're after would be related to Ouroboros?
I'll just let you know that.
Okay.
It is not directly related to Ouroboros, but the Circle generally likes to keep tabs on any Orgoth relics. Out of many of the factions in the world, the Circle is the one that is the most active in making sure that the Orgoth are not disturbed from their endless sleep.
Okay. Well, maybe our own records would have been a better place to look for this, but I bet I could sniff out a book here that has more on those relics. See if I can ID what this thing is. And I'll ask I missed the shopkeep's name for help as I
I don't
peruse
think
the
I
shelves a little
gave
bit.
her a name, actually.
No, that makes it easy to miss.
I'm going to call her Kathia. So, Kathy Bafancy. So, Kathia the Iosan, who is a about 5 foot tall woman, very slim, more slim than what you typically see from like a human of the same health, I guess you could say. She has long, fair, golden hair that, when the sun hits it just right, it seems to glow. Her skin is a bit tanner, more like definitely looks like that she walks in the sun a lot, even though, as far as you can recall, you barely ever see her leaving her shop. Good afternoon. How can I help you today? Looking for something in particular?
Hi, Kathia. Yeah, actually, a little outside the usual. Anything in Ogren in?
Do you mean Orgoth?
Oh yeah. I am not versed in this lore, but yeah.
No worries. That's why I'm here. Orgoth, huh? We don't have a whole lot on them, but you're regular enough around here. I do. She leans in with this, gesturing for you to come to the counter.
Yeah. I get closer.
I do have a book written by Sir Pendrake that details some things about the Orgoth. Not a whole lot. It looks like a lot of records about them has been erased over the years. Not sure why, but this book is a one of a kind. I know some collectors who would pay a fair penny for it.
I'll be gentle with it if you're willing to allow me to peruse it.
You are welcome to look at it, but please do not take it. If I were to sell it to anyone, it'd be to a museum in the capital.
Certainly. I would hate to lose such an artifact.
That would indeed be a loss. Oh, my collection would be sad without it. Well, it's in the back. Follow me. As she first goes to the front door, and before closing it, switches the sign to out to lunch, closes the door, and proceeds to lead you into the back. You see a few crates of supplies, looks like scrolls, ink, some blank, cheap-looking books, probably for just documentation and sales. But then there is a room in the back. She takes out a key from around her neck, a key from a chain around her neck, and unlocks the door, opens it, revealing a several different crates that are open, filled with various cloths and other stuffing. Looks like very soft material. And sitting on top of each open crate, on top of all of its stuffing, are several books. She points to one that has a greenish black, looks to be leather casing with a big old open mouth face on the cover. Looks like the leather was raised to make a facial expression.
Okay. Point taken. I don't think I could do that. Not with leather, anyway. That's no teeth, right?
No teeth. I haven't had this confirmed yet, but I think I think it is aged troll. It looks like the book itself may have been originally from the Orgoth, although it's completely written. It's completely written in Signarin. So it's someone took the book, and if my guess is correct, if my hypothesis is correct, it was Pendrake himself.
Signarin, you say?
Yes.
I guess that leads me, the player, to ask, what language are we using here?
It's a good question.
Seeing as how I think I pointed this out during our chat, at least I meant to. We are in a Signarin town.
Okay.
So you would
Great.
have...
So it follows that I would know Signarin.
Yes.
I'm going to write that down as my second language real quick.
Yep. It's like you have 2 languages you start out with. Which ones?
Which there are a stupid amount that are very specific to several races.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
I'm not necessarily a local boy. I have Idrin down since I was born in the steppes. Not steppes, marches.
Oh. You probably do not have a fondness for the scoring.
Probably not. If I had read the first 100 pages, all of the first 100 pages of the core book.
There
There's
is a lot
of lore in this big game.
For a core rulebook, there's sure a lot of lore.
Of lore, how much are our characters aware of the history between the Circle and the Orgoth?
You guys know that the Circle typically protect Orgoth sites, and are typically very angry when when someone breaks into an Orgoth site, potentially stirring the undead, or simply takes something in relation to the sites. Otherwise, it's typically kept hush-hush. Seeing as how you guys are still mid to lower rank, still elite, you guys are still on a need-to-know basis.
Okay.
You aren't given...
Don't know any of the information of how the Orgoth would feel about us.
Okay. I can tell you that in a nutshell. Because it was actually told to you guys by Samuel at the beginning of the mission. Or maybe I said in the summary. The Orgoth kind of ruled this continent, and by kinda I mean for hundreds of years. And they were tyrannical sons of bitches.
Are we aware of the plague?
Plague?
Yeah. Yeah. The whole Circle started a plague to destroy the Orgoth.
We'll note Frank read the lore.
That happened a long time ago. The Orgoth have been dead for over 1,000 years.
Just wondering if we would know why they would be bitter.
Oh, we
There are
know
many
our history well enough.
Yeah.
You just know that
Like, oh, they probably might not like us poking around.
you know for a fact there's animosity.
Right.
As for the specifics as to the animosity, also, stop knowing more lore than the DM, damn it.
I got really into it. It's cool. Sorry.
Okay, I have a book from this that you can borrow at some point, but we'll get to that later.
I would love that.
Okay, so, I will let you do I think an intellect check for going through the book. I don't know how many hours you wish to spend perusing this leather-bound tome.
I have a deadline, so I'm going to try and meet that. So certainly no more than an hour.
Okay.
This is still part of the plan?
It still relates to it, yes.
All right.
And
3d6 plus 4.
knowing Matt and his ridiculousness, he will find a way to make anything you guys do be part of the plan.
Well, I already stated the plan, so you kind of have. I can't really change it after I said it
Nah.
and everyone.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
when
but
you make
Brian-
it vague enough, everything is part of the plan.
That's what I was about to say. It's just like, you could have stated your plan, and it made perfect sense to you. The problem is the interpretation the rest of us got.
I don't
Well,
care how you guys interpret it. I only care about how the DM interprets it.
Seeing as how I'm looking to get you guys going, I'm looking to more favor that's part of the plan at this time.
The plan has been planned.
Is it part of the plan or is it not? What is a plan? Do we have
That is
plans?
the plan.
Does
Alright,
anyone have
so-
plans?
13
You leave
plus
your
4
zine
would be
shit out of this.
17.
Wrong game. Alrighty. What'd you get, by the way?
17.
Hot diggity dog. Okay. So, what
Yeah,
you can...
I
Well,
did
you're able to
drop a point
peruse.
into intellect.
The Orgoth, they were ruling for quite a while until many events occurred. There's talk of a plague. There's mention discovery of magic. And there is mentioning of many artifacts that were made as keys to Orgoth tombs. Some tombs are easier to get into, but they have less threats. The tombs that are sealed, however, with Orgoth runed keys typically have bigger threats that are more likely to get back up. And then you notice there are a few pages that have been torn out throughout the entire book. By your calculations, there are at least 12 pages missing.
And this is in line with Kathia's comment about history being erased.
She's able to enlighten you that the book was acquired that way. No pages have been removed.
I would not accuse her of such.
Anything else you wish to do in this shop?
I don't think I need another ledger book, and I think I still have a book or two on Ouroboros runes in the loft where I sleep above the shop.
I mean, better than having a hut outside of town that you have to walk for a few miles every day.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but there's conspicuously a lack of bed up there. So I could claim that I do go home every time. But if I want to work and study and sleep, commuting is just kind of out the window.
This is very fair. Alrighty. So, again, apologies for skipping over you initially.
That's fine. We can go back to Chin or our meetup.
Let's go to the meetup. And Chin did his attunement.
I did my magic bullshit.
Shit. Well, speaking of magic bullshit, to just ask a question about the game, what was that about the magic weapon thing or magic things we were doing? And you never did answer that near the beginning. What were we doing for that?
We'd agreed during the voice chat that everyone was getting one fully runed out item.
Oh, okay.
Because
So-
pricing was going to require a lot more thinking than what I was willing to do at that time.
Okay, so I'm building this right. Thank you. That's all I needed. Thank you.
And Jin's magical thing that he got was a beefed out construct. and that was going to replace the starting gold because I also messed that up kind of hard.
That's
Especially,
okay.
especially since I couldn't figure out what else you guys could spend it on.
Well, that's all I wanted to know is that I was doing the right thing with my runes. Okay, I'm good.
Yes, you're good. Okay, so you guys all meet up, probably in the church, unless you guys had agreed on another spot.
No, we'll go back to the magic guy and his golem battery.
Sure. So everyone heads back to the church.
Yep, to the church in the basement, which is not shifty, I swear.
Well, when we run it, it's not shifty.
And Samuel is still there?
He is actually not there, but there are some other cloaked figures. However, they are wearing green cloaks with little leaf patterns here and there. Most of which you can tell are human. There is one that you can recognize as a Skarn.
And for the those of us who don't have the greatest memory or don't know, Skarn are...
They're one of the two main races that work, like that are tied with Circle Orbros. You guys know that their people are actually some of the oldest worshippers of the Devourer Worm. And depending on their gender, they have a unique ability. They can transform without taking elixirs. The race can naturally, the males get twice as big, and the females become more dexterous and more cat-like in many aspects. So when you can only really tell based on either if they're walking around in their bestial form or if they're wearing armors. Their armors are specifically loose. They also have a unique headdress. They wear bones fastened with leather straps on their heads. Usually the males do this. The bones specifically have an antler or horn-like appearance. But Samuel himself is not there.
Just for kind of my frame of reference, did he leave kind of like soon after everyone else headed out, or did he kind of meander around for a while and then leave?
From what you can tell, because he does this a lot, he gives a mission and then he goes and does his own thing. A Blackclad has a lot to do, be it communing with nature, planning how to reclaim aspects of nature from civilization. You know, the sorts.
Sure.
Anyone who has the authority to command a troop of warpborn typically has other things, hence why they have the warpborn.
Fair enough.
So I assume we all meet up together under here after a while?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so feel free to share the information you all have acquired. And there's also mostly as a recap for the people who did not remember everything that was told to people that were not them.
Well, I'll definitely share that there was supposedly only one person guarding that caravan.
Well, trained to guard the thing, but
According to them. But yeah, it wasn't very many guards. So either we were hired under the table or someone turned.
Huh. Interesting.
or got separated somehow.
Or a better offer.
Whereas I just learned that a drunk guy apparently got his pants stolen by a gremlin in the woods.
Okay.
I learned that the general population is aware that there's something going on in the woods, and most people know of someone who has been impacted by spirits or something of the like.
So there is something going on.
And it's not just an isolated event.
There is something foul in the northeast. I do not know where, but it's coming from the northeast. It reeks as a sickness.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I actually managed to find an Orgoth text. They didn't have pictures of the thing, but there is a set of runed artifacts that it seems like their purpose was as keys to tombs. I don't know if it was to keep things out or to keep things in. Oh, Matt.
Yeah.
Did you also have a thing about what the wounds of the caravan merchants looked like?
Yeah, they looked beast-like, but not quite.
Okay.
So it wasn't. They know for sure it wasn't swords or any man-made, but they also didn't quite line up with what a beast would do. He suggested warpborn, one of us.
So
Well,
That's
better offer.
that's what I'm wondering if we had someone guarding that, if they turned on the caravan.
You know, I consider us a pretty loyal bunch.
We didn't happen to ask if there were some of our guards with the caravan already.
No.
No, we didn't.
I thought I'd remembered something from Austin telling us that there had been some Circle Ouroboros present as people guarding, but I forget.
Right.
And Austin didn't mute himself, did he? Or unplug his
no.
mic.
I have been on occasion. Usually when I'm chewing, but no, I'm just listening, waiting to see if you guys need me specifically.
Is Samuel around? Because yeah, I'd like to know how many guards did we dispatch to
Um,
caravan?
to just expedite things, not so you guys aren't trying to hunt him down. He did say earlier that there were some agents with the caravan.
Oh, he said agents. Not
Multiple
guards.
agents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I will say would be kind of safe to assume that the one guard may have been a local, whereas the merchants who refused aid, aka refused to pay, may have been skilled fighters themselves.
Okay.
Merchants in disguise, kind of.
Yeah.
And if they didn't show up, they probably ran.
Well, they're still sorting out the bodies.
True. Do warpborn if they die during human form, do they stay human?
They do. They do. Warpborn, unlike warp wolves, have a closer tie to their humanity.
So would an autopsy show they're warpborn, for example?
If I get the tech level right, they don't know how to do autopsies.
If you were to cut open a human that is warpborn, the only way we'd be able to tell would be trying to sense magic, and it would have to be a pretty fresh body.
Okay. So there's no.
So
So if we check out these bodies, there's not a good chance for us to identify a warpborn or not.
yeah, there wouldn't be an alchemical residue necessarily.
Okay.
Is my guess. Well, unless we want to stop by the I'm just gonna say the morgue.
The body farm.
Honestly, from what I've
We should
gathered in
head
my
up.
research, most places would store them in the slaughterhouse because that's where ice was.
Yep. Okay.
Which blows my mind, but that's It is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a creepy thought.
Keep the meat with the meat.
Unsurprisingly, medieval times kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Steampunky medieval times.
Bring
Still
out
kinda
the
suck.
dead.
They just have giant steam-powered magical robots.
Yeah.
That's all.
Anyone want some surgery?
Ugh. All right.
I'll take the magic potion, thanks.
All right. So does anyone think we could find any more information here, or should we head out?
You can't read a whole book in an hour, but I got the cliff notes on it.
I'm bored. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't
All right.
think there's too much more information.
Do you then leave, John?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Sounds like we're heading out. Head north.
Okay. You guys are heading north along the trail to the scene of the crime. After walking for roughly 3 miles, it's not exact, you guys do come across what could easily be recognized as something done happened here.
Even a day later, huh?
Even a day later, there is still blood staining. There are still little splinters of wood here and there, pieces of small bits of metal, impact marks on the ground. Something definitely happened. You will have to do survival checks, investigation checks, or detection checks. Which, overall, that's either, if you don't have anything in these skills, it's either intellect or perception.
I think we're doing all right for survival.
Yeah. Who has the best modifier? I think we're all roll for survival.
I've got an 8.
Well, I could do detection if we want to diversify our roles, maybe.
I've got an 8 in detection too.
Holy shit.
Okay. Go for it.
I mean, I've got 6 in detection, survival, and tracking.
Unless we
But
all
I
do
might
individual.
want to stretch my shoulders a little bit.
Oh, I had the I was gonna say survival increases if I try send.
And just to clarify, this is still part of the plan.
Of course.
Yep. That was my original outlined plan.
This is true. But it's still
detection
funny.
And tracking specifically go
So,
up.
I'm gonna try because there's something in this woods. So, is it a tracking check to find something? Because that sounds like more like you're tracking it down, so you already have some concept.
I would say tracking. I would allow tracking because I think survival in this game is different than survival in like D&D or Pathfinder.
D&D survival. How many dice do you roll again?
It's 3d6 because of the boost from Matt.
It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan. So I guess we'll stick with the plan.
Okay, so that's what boosted means. You roll another dice.
Yep, so it's 3 dice instead of the usual 2.
Oh, good. That means all of my agilities get 3 dice too.
So I guess we'll stick with the plan. Have Luna do survival. We'll have I believe Fraken was doing some, or Fraken survival. Luna was doing tracking.
Yep. And ooh, those are good numbers. 15 plus 8 for 23.
Fair enough.
For a D20 roll. Let alone a 2d6 roll.
That's a 3d6 roll plus 8.
It's supposed to be 2d6.
I know.
Well, yeah. God, I love this shit. Okay. So, okay, for everyone who did, well, everyone did survival, right?
Oh, haven't rolled.
I
it
did
yet.
tracking.
Okay, I'm going to do the survival people first because that should encompass the majority.
Oh, are
Understood.
we all rolling?
Yes, it is a group effort.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
I was gonna ask Magnus if he could pick up on magical residue from the dagger.
Could I?
I'll let you roll an Arcana. It will take some time for you to meditate and sense.
Sure.
Just because I don't think there is a detect magic spell. I've noticed a lot of the magic there's nothing that's like utility spells. It's all
14.
various combat spells. 14?
Yep.
Okay, just get that out of the way because everything else is happening in the meantime.
In some ways.
You're sensing some of that necrotic. Those necrotic vibes you were getting from earlier. They're not as strong. As like that general area you were sensing, but there is residue. And it feels like it's kind of in the forest itself.
Oh.
Like there was a lot of negative energy around here. Okay, so who all did tracking?
Hi.
Oh, not tracking, survival. My bad, survival. That was gonna be first because that was gonna be the most people.
Yep.
I did survival.
So is what I had rolled, but a couple of questions for setup on that is
Yes.
what time of day is it?
It is now
Mid-afternoon?
It is now mid-afternoon, yeah.
And
I'd say about 4 or 5-ish. And it's summer.
okay. How many people around? Like, it is a track between outskirt towns. We're not really expecting any others, right?
There is currently no one, but I will say with your heightened sense of smell, you may be able to smell someone before they arrive.
Great. I am not going to spend the feat point. I'm just going to bear with the pain and shift. Well, I'm going to set down my pack, dress in armor while I still have the dexterous fingers, and then shift.
What is the landscape like? Is it just only thick forest around us?
This is fairly thick deciduous forest. There are patches here and there along the travels that do lead to open areas. It is kind of hilly. It's not a flat area. There are many times where two hills will be on either side of the path, making it look like they specifically kept the road flat, mainly for bigger vehicles to travel without problem. There aren't really cars or anything, but wagons pulled by horses or steam jacks alike still don't want potential fragile contents breaking. Instead of going up and down hills, it seems to be in more of the valleys. So the road itself is fairly even.
I'm going to make the assumption that most people are going to be looking close by, and I'm going to look a little bit further away using a spyglass.
Alrighty. Okay, then with the survival checks, what did everyone that did survival get?
I got an 18.
18?
Beast shape doesn't lend itself to survival, but that's what I rolled anyway. Before I looked at that, 8
does
plus
with
6 for
It
14.
does. It adds +3 to it.
Detection and tracking
Oh,
is
detection.
what I've
not
got
survival.
written down.
I must have written down the wrong thing.
Okay, so there was an 18, there was a
14.
14. 14. Okay. So, taking all that in consideration, what you guys are able to tell, there were a lot of different footprints, a lot of different, lot of movement. And from what you can tell, it looks like the carriage or wagon, whatever it was, it looks like it was impacted by a heavy force. And you notice some drag marks here and there that have uneven bridges in the drag marks. It doesn't look like it was a flat surface that was dragged across. Okay, now for tracking.
Yes.
What'd you get again?
Well, it depends on whether or not I'm a wolf. I keep forgetting that I can shift. 23 or 26?
Either way, roughly good range. So, oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. You
let's-
did roll really nice. That's right.
Let's roll. Let's remain human. So 23.
23. Well, what you can tell, good sir, any tracks from the woods, there are no boots, no animal tracks really. In fact, it looks like this area has been pretty avoided by animals for the last 24 hours. You do see the track marks, the drag marks like everyone else, but it looks like whatever it was had ridges on its underside, and it looks like the multi different drag marks, you're counting about 6. They're not the same. Normally, with creatures, there are some varieties, but this is a drastic difference. Like something
not-
move.
Yeah. So not only do we have some lowrider creatures, we've got some different things being drug. Interesting.
Yeah. Frank, for your spyglass, is he there? Yeah, there he is.
We've got two of us with spy glasses.
What you're able to specifically see is that there is someone a couple miles away. Looks like a gobber, which is a type of goblin-like creature, more of the socially acceptable variety. They typically work as mechanics, engineers, and scouts in a lot of the cities. And one of them is coming by on a cart. The cart is pulled by a medium-sized steam jack. It appears to be lacking arms. It might be working solely as a beast of burden for this gobber. He has a wide-brimmed hat, overalls, and he's currently chewing on something. You're not sure what.
Is he coming from the north, heading south?
He is coming from the north, and you're only able to see him with your spyglass. Otherwise, it would just be an object in the distance. You wouldn't be able to make it out. It looks like his cart is full of something. It's a mass that you can't really discern.
Can I make out what sort of tracks the cart is making?
You cannot tell the tracks from here.
I hide.
And he's heading
I
away
hide.
from us or towards us?
Towards you guys. Looks like he's heading to town, but he's still a couple miles away.
Okay. I will inform the group there is someone coming.
And off into the woods.
Okay, so we took care of tracking, we took care of survival. Magnus Greywolf.
I did the magic.
You did magic, what'd you get?
We already covered. That was the first one.
Oh, we did! We did. I forgot. Ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, you see, my brain is mush. You might get a more understandable sentence out of a plate of mashed potatoes. Anyway.
At least mashed potatoes are delicious.
So, someone tell me, how many mashed potatoes does it take to cover a manhole?
Stop it.
Is that a thing?
Don't
Because
ask.
motorcycles don't have doors.
Anyway.
Ice cream doesn't have
Anyway.
runners.
Oh.
Bring it the frickety fractodactyl back in.
Yes.
Jesus.
But
Okay,
where's-
so that's the information you guys have gathered. What do you do with it?
I ask, where's the shovel?
Wrong. Our
I-
leader has been demoted.
I've got the question of physique when goes up in shapeshifting
Plus
Mhm.
2.
mode. That can go past max, yes?
Yes.
And does that increase the life spiral?
It increases both life spiral and armor.
Okay.
Nice.
Good to know. Oh, great. So we get to double down on
The armor.
upping armor because physique plus an armor bonus. So that's 18 armor right now.
Shit, that put me at 17.
In the base war game, I have to get a war beast dedicated to being tanky, a large war beast, to get that kind of armor. You're as tanky as my ogre-sized crocodiles.
Yep. Nope.
This game is well balanced.
Full plate is great for armor.
So, okay, do we have a
Anyway.
direction?
That away.
Well, how do we want to react to this guy heading towards us? The gobber.
I'm hiding in the woods. I happen to be going in the same direction as the drag marks.
Let's set an ambush.
He might
Ooh.
not be malicious.
Doesn't
That's my-
matter.
That's my thoughts.
Well,
I'm
not all
gonna
ambushes have to be violent.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Let's at least wait for him to get a little closer. We can scope him out, see what he's doing, and then act from there.
Wait, we get to recon?
That's
I
the
like
plan. That's the
recon.
plan.
That is
I
the
like
plan.
recon disappears into woods.
That is the perfect plan.
Now is when I ask a dumb question.
Yeah?
If I am getting bonuses from two different things, specifically following the plan and being just generally getting bonuses on agility rolls, do I roll 4 dice?
Depends on the wording. If it's boosting, then
Yes.
no.
Damn.
If
I am
both-
not boosting. I am
You are not
adding a
boosting.
die.
Okay, never mind. You get all 4. You get all 4.
Because the wording is for mine. I took the deft subcategory of skilled, so I have boosted agility rolls.
Oh, I see. I see. Gotta love this game already.
All right, let's hide.
Okay.
Concealment.
Yeah, that is actually the skill check, right?
The skill check is sneak, isn't it?
It is sneak. Yes.
Boss.
Oh, I rolled poorly. Wait, if I roll 2 of the same number, that's a way to do critical, right?
Yes.
If I roll
that's
2 ones, that's
right.
bad, right?
If you roll 2 1s, that's bad. Yes.
I see.
What did you get?
1 1 3
What if
5.
you roll all of
Ooh.
the same numbers?
Oh, 4
That
4
would-
4.
Yahtzee!
You see,
a critical
back
success.
back in the old version, that was the only way to get a critical. But yeah, that still is a critical. You basically pull a Homer Simpson and just back into the foliage and
Melt
disappear.
into it.
I'm very, very sneaky, son.
Sneak.
What did everyone else get?
I got double 4s.
14.
I'm
So many 4s.
I'm just gonna try and get into the woods as far as I can here. Oh, I guess I got 2 2s on that survey roll earlier. I had forgotten to check for doubles. So, do you want me to roll if I'm just trying to get into the woods far enough to not partake in this ambush? I have the sense it's like, Gobber. Probably don't want to burn our cover of just like, yeah, there's warp wolves in these woods.
roll a stealth check, but I guess since you're trying to make distance instead of adding your agility, add your speed.
Great. So sneak, parent value of 3, or agility would be 3. Speed would be 6 minus 1 plus 0. This is the plan. It's not how our leader intended the plan to plan, but
I'd say this.
That's the plan.
It's the plan.
I guess it's I would allow it as part of the ambush, which is technically a new plan.
Yeah, battle plan, ambush.
Yes. So from now on, that bonus until he says another plan is the ambush.
So,
Okay.
Steve is specifically going to stand next to Shaw with his spyglass out and relay what information he can as the gobber approaches, allowing to Steve to Shaw to adjust the plan accordingly.
so
All right.
I've got a 3-1-3 for a crit 7 plus 5. So crit 13 or crit 12.
Looks like a lot of people crit, and then there was a crit fail. This is beautiful. Okay, so everyone else is pretty well hidden, staying fairly perspective. John,
Bleh.
You are standing behind a tree that is not wide enough to actually cover you. But because all you see is tree, if you can't see them, they can't see you.
Or I was gonna say I stepped on something sharp and yelped.
I'm not going to be as mean with the critical fails in this one. They're not supposed to be. It's just an immediate failure. But, got to have some humor with it.
Yep.
Shaw hates it when I have to use the bathroom in the middle of a fight.
So just go. We're in the woods.
Oh, God. So, I'm getting sideline chatter over here of just hilariousness. So, it takes a bit for this gobber on his cart to show up. As he gets closer, you can tell that his steam jack, this bulky, I guess the way you could describe it is robot with an armored face, like it looks like it's wearing a typical knight's helmet. It's got that grill or beaver, whatever it's called, in front of it. That's where you can see just heat and fire coming out of it. And it has two smokestacks coming out of its back, billowing smoke. The gobber, he is a green 3-foot tall man with the outfit I described earlier, and he is covered in soot and other grime from having smoke blown on him all day long.
He has been working on the railroads.
And that's it. Just him and his contraption.
His contraption, and his cart, which, as he gets closer, you can tell is mostly random metal parts. It looks like, honestly, it looks like a junk pile. You can't tell what's what. None of you guys are really engineers, and the only person that does any crafting is currently hiding as best he can deep in the woods.
Hey, I've got some wold crafting, but still not useful.
No.
It is not stone, mud, root, or rune. The fuck is all that mess?
So it's pretty safe to say he's a scavenger of some sort.
Where is your wold, by the way?
I was thinking about that, but I assume since it's kind of massive, it's still just tucked away.
Okay.
Still back at the church, taking a good sit.
Yep.
Taking a good sit.
It a good boy.
Do you have like remote summoning on this? Oh geez, I am so far into the woods.
Excuse me. Summoning is complete.
Okay. I will kind of give a hand signal to anyone who could see me, if possible, just a hold. I will step out cautiously and hail the person.
Is your plan to step out and hail the person?
The plan is to ambush them, and here we
Correct. And I am setting bait for the ambush still.
go.
Okay, let's. Oh no! My dice went where they weren't supposed to.
Your dice have died?
I accidentally rolled them into a chest. Okay.
There are a couple of
quick
chests
search.
in the corner.
This is a dice full of races. What the hell?
Dice full of what?
Tiefling, gnome, human.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it's a generator for NPCs.
Yeah, I figured.
Okay, so luckily he does notice you and doesn't run you over.
Oh, okay, I guess that is good.
But the you hear him yelling in a couple different languages as the cart comes to a stop slowly. There is a bit of a skidding noise, and you hear metal grinding on the gravelly path. Eventually, it stops, and you see the gobber stick his head around to look at you. What you want, kid?
Sorry, I just saw that mess of a lot behind me. have you seen any more? Are the roads still dangerous?
I haven't seen much of anything lately, but I typically make enough noise that most people don't bother me none. I mean, most people just think all this stuff is junk. No one gonna raid anybody for junk, and I'm too tall and loud on this here cart to be bothered by critters.
What about lately? Haven't you heard any rumors lately about that?
Heard rumor about some spooks popping up in the swamps out east. Not sure what they're about, but I stick to the road so the swamps don't bother me none.
But that's out east. But nothing about. I'll kind of quiet my voice, look around. Nothing about warpborn, right? In these woods.
Damn it.
I mean, them werewolf people that go around eating sheep and all that jazz? Nah, I ain't heard.
If
That's
this
the
was
guard
Pathfinder-
back at insert whatever fucking town we came from.
I'm still working on that.
Generic
Back
town.
at town name here.
Yes.
Insert blank.
What
back at
they were all
asterisk,
talking
town name
about.
asterisk.
Honestly, I haven't been into town there in about a week. I'm just getting back from the city. All them mechanics up there throw away good parts for them steam jacks, and I like to build me some good steam jacks. They work good. You keep them fed with coal, they work long time. I sell some farming units. To various different farms around here. You know. The Menoth boys, they like to buy my farm mechs. I don't really know why. Farm jacks ain't really good for them military types, but I don't know. I just like them coin.
We could all use a bit of coin around here. You can hear it.
Oh, is that how this is?
That became All-Star in my head.
If I had a crown for every time I hear that, I'd be in debt. All right. Well, without further ado, boy, I'd like to get to town, unless there's something you need.
Boy.
No, I think I'll be on my way. You take care.
Yep. Don't let them spooks there get you.
Likewise.
That dude's adorable.
That
And
dude's
with-
old.
Yeah, that's why he's so adorable. I love him.
Also,
that was
the
not the
Cajun
voice
accent.
I was expecting to come out of that gobber frame, but I like it.
Weird shit.
Yeah.
Dauber frame, Cajun accent.
I'm glad you guys
Kinda.
enjoy my randomly generated NPCs, and by randomly generated, I mean I'm pulling them right out of my ass. Oh,
I like it.
There were a couple of times it's like, nope, I am an intelligent character. I am not gonna just come lunging out of the woods to attack this fellow.
The problem is, in your current form, the intelligence is a little on the lower side now.
No, it doesn't hit. I don't take a negative to intelligence. I just add strength, perception, or strength, physique, and armor.
I guess.
and have a little bit of trouble communicating. That's really it. You can still
Right.
can. It's just
what
and I
we
am
have
doing
here
that.
is a failure to communicate. Anyway,
and as he's moving along, driving by, he just yells to you, "On, tell your friend that I think he failed at hide and seek." Is this supposed to be counting?
what?
Put my head in
Damn it!
Put my head in my hand. Face palm. I think we got what we needed.
Can I roll a tracking out here, just since I'd kind of gone in the direction of the tracks, just see what happens?
Yep, I'll let you do that.
This is part of the old plan, right? So I can only get 2d6 out of this, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
And also, I think you have to be in. Oh no, I don't know. Never mind. Ignore me. Just ramble bambles of an old gobber. I need to make him one of these times. That'd be swell.
What?
I believe that's a 14.
Oh yes, this
Okay.
is part of the plan.
So with a 14, you're able to find out that there are about 6 different lines of tracks. It looks like 3 actually go on to the other side. There was a plan. Looks like they may have been setting for an ambush. And you do notice that on occasion, something carried by one of these creatures that's making the drag marks does impact the ground. It doesn't look like a normal footprint or anything else. It looks like something being jostled around.
So like they had grabbed a box off a cart and dropped it, maybe looked in it, picked it up and kept going.
Either that or they were holding on to it and it was flopping around.
Okay.
Hmm.
Like a crate thing or like a thing?
Thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-all.
If you say so.
Sudden silence from the GM always makes me less nervous.
Just a bit.
And it's the sound
Shut-
of the GM
stop.
thinking.
Thinking or DCing?
Ooh, hello?
Hi!
Okay, that was not intentional silence. That was my USB ports are bad. I am starting to save up for an upgrade on my computer. Because literally all the USB ports I randomly disconnect from.
Oh,
Good.
So if I'm silent for a while and it doesn't seem appropriate, let me know because I won't tell right. I can't be able to tell right away.
Yeah, I've tried to fall into the habit of queuing certain people when they're quiet for a bit.
Okay. It doesn't look like it's hard to tell exactly what it was, but it does look like whatever impacted the ground had a fairly sharp and rigid 90-degree angle, so a corner. Whatever it was had a corner that impacted the ground. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, it's heading due east.
All signs point east.
I will regroup after the steam jack has moved on, and the scent of smoke is cleared from the air.
that
Might be a bit.
Yeah, that one might take a minute.
Alrighty. As you come back, I'm assuming everyone else comes out of hiding.
Yep.
I just had a thought of me walking back up to the road like Wile E. Coyote, holding up a sign with footprints at a corner.
As long as you don't set off a bomb and hold up a sign that says "Help."
No, bombs are outside my area of interest. And I'd left my token on an animation just so that I would remember that it's transformed at the moment.
Yes, and it was starting to irritate the hell out of me.
Oh, don't look at it then.
It looks like he's upset that he stubbed his toe.
Oh!
Ah!
Oh! Ah!
God's name?
Anyway.
Anyway. So, from what you've gathered here, what is your plan next?
Boss.
There's the direction of those drag marks, right?
Yeah.
Points at tree line.
And it sounded like the swamp might be a good place to check out.
What direction is that
Burns
going in?
Points at tree line.
East. The tracks go
Um,
east, and the swamp was to the east.
Okay. So we're looking for spooks.
Spooks to the east.
Spooks and the go this direction, run!
Yep.
And I do.
Plan is to carefully follow the tracks and find more clues, and if we find anything hostile, we shall kill them.
Carefully, right, okay.
That's pretty well encompassing. I like it.
Because clearly, a thief of our level would be.
I'm
careful.
closer to a thief than you are.
John, please drop your mini onto Nikolai's player board at some point, and so you can't get it back. I did
What?
that with some of my dice and brown, and I had to convert 2 brown to get my damned dice back.
But my wolf is walking away down the tracks.
Oh, you were the one that put the dice in my tray?
No, this was unrelated.
So I can do. These are his dice, so I put them here. I can't get them. Oh, look at that.
Yep, nope.
Oh.
Be
Anyway,
careful where you roll them, I guess.
I had a rogue die just go boink, gone, bye.
no, your rope die ended up in my hand. No,
That's
I don't
why
know
like
how.
Using R instead of. Like,
No, that was
throwing
earlier
them.
today. I'm talking about like 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Also, if we want, we can remove these hidden zones. I
We
just need
can.
the DM to do that, I think.
it's
Hmm.
fine.
That's where-
We can keep them. It doesn't matter.
I right-clicked on the table through my player map, so I can leave that alone.
Hey, that's mine.
Anyway,
boss.
so
Heading
you
out.
guys,
Head now.
you guys continue
I'm
along,
following the plan.
following east.
Whichever direction east is on this board. Yes.
GM is north.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, you guys are walking along. The terrain over the course of a couple hours does eventually get squishier. Eventually, the trees, there's more gaps between the trees, which are then encompassed by small bodies of water. Occasionally, you hear the noise of the animals that you're hearing changes drastically. It goes from just sound of some birds, some things rustling in the bushes, to a lot more bugs. There's splashing. Every once in a while, you hear something slide into the water, and you don't see it in time, but there's activity.
Maybe some croaking.
Did you say maybe some cocaine?
Croaking.
Oh, croaking.
I mean, you could also have some croquet too, I guess.
I'm glad my boots are in my pack. I don't want to clean these off later. Don't verbalize
Ready.
it, but it's just a thought that crosses my mind.
Everybody make a detection check quick.
With 3d6, right?
Oh,
Yeah. No, this is just 2. This is not part of the plan.
This is not part of the plan.
We're following the tracks.
But
This
the
is
detection
unrelated.
part of the
We're being
plan.
careful.
Uh-oh.
Good. 2, 4, 6 plus 8 for 14.
What do we add to this? Our intelligence?
You detection perception.
14 as well.
13.
It's interesting that perception is apparently a thing that in fiction just got better, but doesn't improve from human to beast form.
I got
But you add plus 3 to your detection.
Yeah, but not to perception.
Yeah.
It's interesting how they did the stats.
I got 14 as well.
Only a 13, I'm afraid.
Well, I heard a lot of 14s. And Typically, everyone got pretty close to the same numbers. So, what you guys are able to notice is that, one, there are things moving in the water. From what you can tell, they look big. Like, bigger than normal human. Probably closer to the size of what you guys are in your wolf forms.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
And what you also notice is that there is something else in the water, closer to human-sized. And not only is its scaly head above water, its yellow eyes locked on you guys, but there is now a foul smell in the air. Like overly ripe fish.
Overly ripe fish. Okay.
Like if you go to a fish market, and they definitely should have thrown out their food a couple days ago.
Damn it, now you're making me hungry.
What?
For overripe fish?
No, but for fish in general, I like getting smoked fish of various kinds, and they've been
Oh.
out ever since this whole thing started. Anyway,
I'm definitely gonna go to Kyoto once this stuff's all done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We're doing this. All right.
wow, we all
Where
just
am-
got hungry for weird shit. Anyway,
Anyway,
There are. It's like shadowy figures in the water. There are multiple of both sizes, or
there's only the one of the. There's only one of these smaller ones.
okay.
One human sized, and then three. One?
I don't remember the number.
Several. You can't tell how many.
A number.
Sure.
Do
Plurality.
they seem to be located in a particular area, just kind of like all around?
I'm not gonna draw it out unless you guys trigger combat.
Oh, that's what I was just setting up for.
Okay. Do we perceive this thing as being potentially hostile?
No. What was your pran? What was your pran?
Pran?
Pran? I didn't have prans. I
Our
had
vowels
plans.
are getting all mixed up today.
I think.
Yeah,
that
I
sounds-
think
it's our
I
consonants.
took a cue from our leader.
Glorious leader.
Oh.
Anyway. Oh, this is devolving quickly. Anyway.
It's a game with us. It always devolves.
Wasn't the plan to kill anything along the way?
That is the plan. So
Okay.
No, think
I have a
the plan is
crossbow.
To kill stuff if we needed to.
Can I can like, call for my wold?
I think the best
I don't
we need to
think.
make sure this is hostile.
Well, first off, calling your wold. I don't believe you have a means of teleporting it.
Well, yeah, I don't mean teleporting, but at least like contacting it to get it moving at least.
Like a whistle.
It will begin beelining into your general direction.
Through walls.
Just Kool-Aid Man through this shit. Just ba-boom, ba-boom, boom.
No, just too many people. It's like, oh no, oh no, oh no, bang!
Oh,
Oh,
I'm shoot-
yeah.
I'm thinking of shooting the
Just
laser
a
through
wordless,
the-
oh yeah.
I'm imagining the thought of
Shooting
like,
the
I
laser
am
through
needed, punches
Factoria's
up through
forest.
earth, pulls
My
itself
people
out of
need
a
me.
shallow grave.
I must go. My people need me.
Okay, because where I'm going, if we set up an ambush, we all get a free attack.
I was thinking they've already locked eyes with us, but
Okay, we can open fire first.
I was
If
gonna
we
say,
think
you
this thing
cannot-
is hostile,
Yeah,
we can
you
just
can't
shoot now.
ambush the perceptive.
But we can shoot first.
Shut up, Han.
I mean, I can shoot something with my bow if that's the plan.
I've got a
Okay.
crossbow. It repeats.
What I'm asking is someone who's native to the lore of this area, they can tell me that's a normally hostile creature. We'll just take it out on sight.
Is lore.
You guys can roll for lore checks.
And
Yes,
those
we-
are int, I assume.
Yep. And
Sure
Plus one.
You
Let me
know
just-
who's not rolling for lore checks? This wolf.
I mean, we might as well all just roll.
What kind of lore check would this be?
let me check on that because there's a few.
Um,
I want to
Can
say
I-
extraordinary zoology.
Sure.
I can't spin you on Ouroboros because this is a thing that the devourer worm would eat, right?
I mean, the devourer worm literally eats anything and everything.
So yes.
So that's a yes.
I can hear someone.
Who's rolling the dice and why?
Oh,
I
he's
thought we
just
were
getting
rolling
ready.
for lore.
Okay,
Yeah,
so who's all rolling lore, and what did everybody get?
Nah.
I got a 12.
Same
Sure,
here, 12.
I'm out in these woods often enough.
I got an 8.
So with the 8, that's a fish person. With the 12s,
13.
that is
I
That
don't know
is
if
a-
that changes anything.
not a whole lot. That is a native of the swamps. They are called bog trogs. That is all you know. You're not sure what these shadowy things are because you haven't gotten a good look, but thing looking at you guys,
And that's
Is-
the smaller human one?
yeah,
Sized one?
with green scales, yellow eyes. As he kind of stands up, you can tell that he has what looks like a fish hide cloak,
Fish.
and he's got webbed hands, fins coming off his face and going down his back. Looks like there's a tail swishing behind him. And with a 13, you know that bog trogs typically have such an atrocious smell naturally to their species that they've been known to be terrible stealth creatures because wherever they go, they reek.
I'm gonna ask, did
And
anyone else
this
have that
one
cut up?
is no different. I heard it clean.
Okay.
Yeah, it's clean. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just say what's up to the bog drug.
I agree.
I say I take 2 steps back and cover my and am offended olfactorily.
So who's saying what and in what language?
Oh,
Kind of a
Was there
low
s-
growl.
That was when I asked, what was our starting language again? I never did find that.
There is no starting language. You
Sorry.
just pick two.
Signarian.
The town is Signarin.
Yeah, I'm saying, what did we
Alright.
pick? If
I
any of us
grabbed
did.
Signarin as a second.
Thanks. What was your first?
Idrin because I grew up there.
Which feel free to just Google languages and pick one quick because there's a lot.
I
It ain't
think
gonna
we even
matter.
got something posted in Master's Quarters.
You
I
did.
think so, yep.
Yeah, the lexicon.
And there is no such thing as common in this setting, so I apologize in
No.
advance. Was that a burp or a pain sigh?
That was an
Pain
O.
sigh.
Made nice crackling sounds.
Well, if no one can speak his language, I think we should just disengage and be on our way. Carefully.
Out of character.
Anyone-
What, boss? Not another sneak interrogation?
Unless
Sorry,
you can
ambush
speak his
interrogation?
language, be my guest.
Looks at weapons.
No.
There's a shared language here, boss.
I would just try to say hello.
You're not playing a hyena anymore, Kale.
No,
Take one
Mexican wolf is very different. Yes.
Chupacabra?
No, it's an actual species of wolf.
Is that right, boss?
Anyway, what was that between the jokes? I think it was either Cards or Frank that said something.
I think it was Nikolai.
Yeah, Steve just steps forward with kind of open hands, one step forward, and just says hello in Signarian.
Are you the lead singer to Creed?
He looks at you, cocks his head, and just makes a, I guess
Blows a bubble in the water.
basically just pops his lips, just
Ugh.
Okay.
Does blarg mean yes?
Blarg means honk.
Blarg!
Did it seem? What was like the demeanor of him as he was acting it out? Did it seem friendly?
there isn't really let me check the skills again. Really wish they had all the skills on the character sheet. That'd be nice.
Like,
Instead of in the middle of the book.
They want to make the character sheet smaller because otherwise it looked too much like a D&D character sheet. Damn it, Matt! Your inability to say vowels is rubbing off on me.
It's
Oh, thanks a
consonants.
lot.
Infectious.
You're having trouble with consonants, not vowels.
It was the vowel that was stumping. God damn it!
just give up. Just pack it up.
I mean,
Leave.
there is on a
There is
previously
negotiation.
related note.
Okay.
Hold on,
There
man.
is
2 pieces
so
of glass.
much of this character sheet devoted to mechanica and spells,
Yes.
and I have never touched either of those in the times that I've played this.
Wait, you have a full metal fantasy character sheet, not an unleashed character sheet.
Yes.
Yep.
Which honestly, one of the things I want to work on, I'm saying as I'm looking through to see if there's any skills that work. So don't worry, I'm multitasking here. I want to make a character sheet that does both because there should be room for magical equipment, which is what Mechanica is.
Magic equipment. Magical equipment.
I will say detection because I'm having trouble finding anything else unless you want to roll an interrogation.
I have detection, so let's do detection.
I mean, negotiation is an occupational skill at a glance up here.
Yeah, there is
Let's do
negotiation.
detection.
I did see that.
He's going with
Actually-
detection.
Okay, that's for
Detection
reading
sounds
him,
good.
not trying to communicate.
I could see oratory
Yeah,
being
reading
spun
him.
here too. Oh, reading him.
Yeah.
That's
You sure
for
that's
books.
deduction?
Does this count
What
as
the fuck?
carefully going through the swamp?
I'm gonna say it's not part of the plan. So just two.
I had to try.
Like I'm willing to allow for most things, but just
Oh,
I'm not
gonna
gonna let
keep
you guys
trying that.
always get an additional die.
This is not part of the plan. Nothing is the plan. Remember, the plan never survives contact with the enemy.
Oh, don't worry. I've got some nonsense for you for later.
I
Oh, I'm
got a
excited.
10.
Okay, so 10. It's either a greeting or confusion. You're not sure.
Consider
either
a lot
he-
of greetings are in confusion.
So he's either saying hello and or what?
Okay, that makes sense. Sure.
Although, to be fair, in most languages, those are very related concepts.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever walked out into your hallway and gone, hello?
That and, hello, who the hell are you?
So
Who you? What want? Where shiny?
Basically.
I'll kind of like Steve will kind of squint his eyes a little bit, cock his head to the side a little bit, and point towards one of the big shadowy figures.
Fish, fish, lunch, lunch.
Okay. What he does is he takes his scaly arms, puts them out one on top of the other, and then slaps them together a few times.
That
Like one palm facing up, one palm facing down.
Oh, got it.
is he doing the chicken dance?
Baby shark. Do.
Oh, fucking hell. You are going to get perm banned, sir.
The
Stay
part
mad.
of that is that there are 2-3 plus of us that know a different version of that song.
Besides, I was
My
going to say, the version he's
understanding.
doing, that's Daddy Shark. Anyway.
Yeah, Daddy Shark. You gotta start with Baby Shark though.
We could also highlight the great discrepancy between subcamps.
The great
I-
discrepancy.
One of many.
Anyway,
I will turn a little bit, like 45 degrees, and point at my quiver of arrows
Oh
a few
no.
times, and then point at the shark, or the presumable
No.
gator thing now.
Presumably Daddy Shark, you had it right.
Presumably Daddy Shark, and see what his reaction is.
He shrugs. And then proceeds to looks like he's lassoing one of the branches and proceeds to climb up the rope.
He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. if you're gonna
I
do
can
that."
at least declare I think that's non-violent.
Damn, these Bogren know
Uh,
rope trick.
Okay, I think we don't want to fight these things, and we want to dip out of here.
Or at the very least,
We
they
wanna be
don't
careful.
directly want to fight
Is there like a
us.
way around this? Like,
Well, there is a very muddy walkway leading up to the tree that he just climbed up. It's not a full body of water. That's kind of it's eroded. This you're thinking over the next like decade, this might even be completely gone, depending on flooding. So it's very loose. No
Is
trees really
he-
holding it together.
Did he head towards the east?
He went up a tree, sir.
Well, towards that path. I mean, is that in the easternly direction?
He was a bit to the southeast of you, if
I was gonna
roughly.
say,
He was.
He didn't head in any cardinal direction. He headed orthogonally, that being up.
He did a vertical, sir.
His XZ coordinates have not changed.
Anyway, so yeah, you guys can either interact with these or attempt to continue on.
I liked Chin's thought of finding a path that we can kind of avoid them.
I think we should avoid as well. We don't need to pick a fight with more people. We already don't know what we're going to be fighting that robbed that caravan.
Yeah, it seems like an unnecessary encounter, especially if this creature knows what they are already. It's probably not what we're looking for.
Alrighty,
Sounds like we're avoiding.
ready. I'm gonna say you guys are able to continue moving, and you go around the body of water.
Yes. I know I don't want to swim through it, so yes.
Yes. To the
Okay.
depth. As
So-
much as we can, and then go from there.
You guys continue moving. However, you have lost track of the drag marks. Last you saw, they went into the water.
Oh.
Oh.
Not at that point, but as you're walking along, they go into the water. You can either continue walking along the shoreline of this, like scattering of ponds, or if you want to try something else. There might be more drag marks farther in more of the more boggy areas.
I'll look at Magnus and say, "Hey, you can detect magical stuff, right? Maybe this would be a good time to do it."
Hey, you cast detect
it
magic.
will take a little time, but I can begin the process.
Hopefully, that will give us some further direction.
Yeah, before we start splitting up and just looking anywhere.
Let's split up, gang.
Not with an unknown contact watching us.
So can I check the ley lines again?
Yes. There isn't a what are they called when they intersect brain? I knew this. Book, tell me things. Wild Adventures has stuff about ley lines.
Oh,
At least I'm pretty sure that book did.
yeah, it should.
Ley
There's
lines.
an intersection of them.
Conjunction, I guess. That's convergence. No, that's actually a faction. Never mind. Yeah, they're not convergence, which you notice there was one near where the church was, but there are ley lines everywhere. It's just
Fulcrums.
strength or not.
Yeah, they call them nodes. I just searched it.
Nodes. Thank you. That's what I want to say, but it didn't sound right.
I was going to say, in the shifting stones, they also serve as fulcrums of natural power.
God, I love the shifting stones.
It correlates to.
I'll roll an
the-
Arcana check or Arcane check.
Yeah.
Plan bonus or not?
Not plan bonus at this time. Because the plan has shifted a few times and I've lost track of what plan is currently.
13.
13. Okay. What you detect is that there is almost a fog of sorts of just that negative energy, and there are little pockets of it being focused. In fact, you sense a not as strong, but still a pocket of it about 100 yards to the south of you. Just on the edge of the shore, of the other shore.
On the opposite side of the other, or 100 yards south across the...
South across some of the water.
Gotcha.
Because the shorelines have changed drastically. It's not like a solid lake. There are just these ponds of various size and depth.
Sure. Do I have a kind of like mental kind of tab of how long it'll take my wool to reach me?
You can estimate, and estimate is if he beelines about 3 hours.
Oh, fair enough. That's about how long we walked.
Does that mean beelining through the swamp? Direct path.
I mean, he doesn't need to breathe.
He is the Terminator. He will just walk through everything to get where he's going.
Punch all the gators along the way.
Some of the gators might punch back.
He won't punch them. He will literally just try to walk through them.
Shows up and there's just all the swamp life around him.
Like clinging onto it.
I picture the X-Men character Colossus just charging through.
Well, yeah, Magnus will kind of like gesture across the body of water. There's something over there that is darker than most.
Feel like that's worth checking out.
Yeah,
Do we
Let's-
see a
Yes,
path
but be on
around?
guard.
let's do that.
Already. So,
Hello, cat.
Kitty!
Kitty?
I have cats.
Kitty! Also,
Shield.
who's making a ping sound? What's going
Oh,
on?
that is me. I'm getting things ready in case things go south.
I
Oh.
see things hopping in and out of the corner there.
I am putting them in the DM's fog of DM things.
I saw nothing.
Already.
Oh, that's what we'll call that. We'll call that the fog of lore.
You know,
I love it.
I half recognize the thing, and I'm again suitably terrified.
You probably saw what I saw.
Don't worry, it's not the thing that's actually popped up. There just isn't anything that's closer.
The hell?
No, I'm
Trust
more
me.
concerned of it because of the last
A
campaign.
past
but
event, yes.
Okay, if that event were to happen, there is no way that you guys as max characters could survive that because they don't even have that statted. It is beyond stats.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The fucker.
Let me just say, Frank, when I lend you that book, it's going to shed some light. Anyway.
Also some fur. Anyway.
Heh.
So, currently, the dark energy that he sensed was across the water. The shortest way there would be through said water, but who knows what is in there with you. Otherwise, you guys can take the long way and hope it hasn't moved by walking around the shoreline. There is a bit of patchy land between this pond and the next.
I'd say we take our time since we're waiting on your construct to join us anyway.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't think we'll end up waiting 3 hours, but
Just in time to make a dramatic entry 4 hours from now.
yeah, it's not.
As he just crashes the trees, Leroy Jenkins, and just rock'em sock'em robot punches a thing in the face.
That sounds amazing. Can that please happen?
They have Steamjack ones and also the natural order things. You just gotta be a magic user.
Yes.
Yep. I've got the heavy plate. I'm all for staying on land. I only know the dog paddle.
Oh, that hurt.
That
That
go
hurt.
for all of us.
I mean, to be fair, that is the first thing people know how to do when they're trying to swim.
Stop being logical, damn it. Anyway,
We used to be lifeguards. I've seen a lot of people do weird shit.
Including jump in and then ask how to swim.
Jump in, panic, and then ask how to swim. Yes.
you can't see it, but I'm face palming on that one.
You
Anyway.
should. It happened.
So were
it was
we.
bad.
Well, we had reach pulls and we actually, knew what we were doing. But
Eh.
Anyway, so looks like the census is going the long way.
The long way, yes.
Yes.
We can go our own way.
As you guys get closer, you do notice something not gracefully moving through the brush, roughly in your direction.
It's heading right for us. Battle stations.
Magnus Wold?
Actually,
Definitely
what
not.
day is it?
It is early evening, so it's still sunny.
So I draw my crossbow. Got it.
Yeah, I would have my weapon out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
What comes out of the woods is a same size as your wolf form reptilian creature. Looks to have a crocodilian face, but it is bipedal. It has a hardened scales on its back that look almost shell-like, though not entirely. And it has a long tail that ends in a fin that is currently dragging. The creature's eyes are glowing green, and it appears to be missing chunks of meat. In fact, it looks like a good chunk of its torso is missing. In fact, closer examination, it looks like a bite was taken out of it.
Oh.
Oh shit, son.
I think Franken, points at it, says green. With the hand that's not holding the axe.
And it's still advancing towards us.
To say toward is very generous. It seems just be moving in a general direction. You guys are just close to said direction.
I say we just
Sidestep it.
Sidestep it and let the thing pass. I don't think it's really aware of us.
Let's just step aside, watch it, and if it comes closest, open fire.
Fraken would follow your leads. Me, the player, is going to point out this is the same color as the artifact we're looking for, and the color our boss's boss was glowing when he was talking with something. And
There
the
is
thing
a
he was
lot of
talking to was
green reused. So the green for the Circle Orboros, they channel a very dark green, like a very grass green.
Earthy.
The Orgoth green is closer to
We do have a forested background.
Is it
here,
like
if this
that
helps.
disturbing, sickly yellow-green color?
Oh, good call.
This thing is, yes, the Orgoth is more like the eerie green, like frickin' Slimer.
Oh, I was gonna go with Maleficent, but okay. The Disney signature lime green evil.
Yep. To the point where that type of green has become shorthand for evil.
Would anyone like to try a lore check on what the fuck they're seeing?
No.
Might as well. Sure.
Is green.
I'll
We'll try
attempt.
Ouroboros.
Would this be the zoology again, or?
No, this is undead specifically.
Oh. Okay.
Just a flat lore is 8 if it pertains to Ouroboros 10.
I got 10 as well. Thank you.
Oh, I critical fail.
So
Luckily,
So
I'm a
Frank-
lord. Sure, I
Frank,
guess.
this gator creature is just sick. That's all. It's under the weather. It's just having a really bad day. If it just had some blankets, basked in the sun, it might feel better and not look as disgusting.
I will start preparing like my bedroll. I'm gonna pull it out and start like
Wait.
walking towards it.
Everyone else, what'd you get again? I was distracted by the crit fail.
8 if lore, 10 if Ouroboros applies.
Ouroboros does not apply.
Had to try.
So 8, I think I heard a 10 somewhere.
Yep.
Anything higher?
That'd be boss man.
negative.
Okay. Well, 10, from what you can gather, sometimes in these swampy areas where magic is ripe, just where the locals say there are many spooks, sometimes beasts that die in conflict come back.
Now it's when I ask, who keeps littering my play area with gold?
I don't know, but I'm going to guess Frank.
Who put boobs on my calculator?
I didn't do it. Yet.
So it's
swear to-
basically a beastie version of an undead. A zombie.
In a way.
Reanimated creature.
Yeah. Let's not deal with this.
Did it seem hostile? I mean, never mind. I'm walking towards it, trying to put it in a nap.
Yep, you're trying to Did you say trying to put it in a nap?
Yeah. I just want to like lay it down and cuddle, and, like try to care for it.
You don't only just want to have it a nap. You want a spoon. Okay.
Not spoon, but just kind of like generally care for it and like.
It is cold-blooded,
It's
Frank.
gonna be okay.
It is
Give it
cold-blooded.
some water. I failed this. I'm done
You
right now.
did, and I am amused. So you put your bedroll on it, and you try to put your arms around it to get it to lay down.
Does he unwrap this thing, or does he just place the roll on it?
And first off, you feel that it is quite squish, but not a good squish. It is like noises happen when you squeeze, and as it keeps moving, and you're not, some bits of it come off with your hands.
Ugh.
I was gonna say, entirely depending on the noises that it makes when it squishes, that actually might sound tasty.
Okay, I just grossed myself out. Never mind.
Whereas my
I
question
guess
is, why do you have a bedroll?
I don't
Why
know,
don't
man.
you have a
I got-
bedroll?
I got things in my pack.
You never know. We need to have a daytime nap,
Yeah.
which I feel you guys probably do a lot.
And I'm tired like
Hey,
the wolf.
Again,
Naps are fucking
Something
awesome.
about smelling like I sound.
I guess Steve just kind of like looks towards the ground, confused, as it walks by.
Okay.
Bus?
Alright.
Follow?
I'm here.
I'll
No,
kind of yell,
other boss.
Oh,
kind of yell, Steve, get away from that thing.
He kind of shakes his head, like coming out of a daze, and takes a step away.
Let's get a move on. We have places to go,
People to see.
All
things to
right.
find.
Shit to
I'm
kill.
Yeah, he starts packing up his, like walking away even further and packing up and like confused at himself.
All right, let's keep
Keeping
walking
an eye on
towards.
this thing, like still walking away. Just
it's still meandering.
okay. Let's.
In
dip
fact,
then.
now that you've gotten closer, it kind of looks like it's looking for something.
Oh, what kind of
Oh.
tracks does it leave behind? Would I have
Well-
to roll a tracking check to
I'll just let
match
you observe
to-
it. Its tail leaves a small drag mark, not as big as what you're looking for, and it leaves 4-toed footprints.
So still with the no boots thing, but
I say we kind of watch this thing for a little while.
of course our crew looks a little weird too with 4 sets of boot prints and then wolf paws. Yeah, it'll be gone tomorrow.
It's
Don't worry,
just
they'll-
it's just someone's war dog. That's all.
Don't
Yeah,
worry about
that-
it. It'll give whoever's following us pause for thought.
Yeah, that's why it walks around
God
on 2
damn it.
legs.
What walks on 2 legs in the day, 4 legs in the evening.
Anyway,
All right, let's keep moving.
You don't want to observe this thing? It seems like it's looking for something.
It's probably
We look
looking
for
for a
things.
place to roll over and die. Let's go.
Onwards!
If that's the plan.
The plan is forward, and I've decided it. Therefore,
No,
let this
you
be an
didn't
indication
decide
to
it.
you.
okay.
Sean
You guys
decided it.
continue walking. And as you continue walking along, you eventually notice some lights in the woods. And this is like after another half hour or so. Not woods, in the bog. At this point, the trees that are growing have such a thick canopy that barely any sunlight is coming through. And you notice that there are little lights along what might be a path. In fact, as you get closer, you notice they are candles.
Oh.
And there are more and more of them. Many of which are on top of various animal and humanoid skulls.
Wonderful.
Are there any other markings like drag marks or?
Not
On
that
that?
you can see here.
Okay.
You continue moving. Do you follow this path or do you veer off it?
I follow boss.
So this is a little bit further south than that northeastern direction that we were
Yeah,
kind of originally planning
I'm a
about.
little lost on if we're going the right direction.
Oh,
or not.
apologies. This was when you guys were heading back east.
Okay, so this is This is roughly the right general direction.
Was that, I
Roughly.
thought we were heading to the other side of the 100
Yeah,
yard.
You guys did, but that was to investigate the zombie critter. And then I believe the wording was you then got back on track, back onto what you were doing before, which would be
I
So
thought
would you say that we were
were
getting on
going
track like
towards the ominous magical essence that was detected by Magnus.
I was gonna say it could be assumed that it was the creature that you guys encountered, the zombie, if
I
you
mean,
will.
Can we confirm or deny that? Let's see
It would
if-
take him time to meditate for that. Meditate in proximity to the thing.
So I guess what I was wondering is relation to, so if our pawns of where we are, where that creature was.
Okay, I'll draw a
then
little bit of
where
something
that-
out. I'll draw a little
Yeah.
out. Because theater of the mind is not working at the moment. Okay, so
Whoa, circle. Is it the circle of Ouroboros?
this is the pond you guys were at.
Ah. I'm not
I
in
tried-
the pond.
I tried to make it blue, but I guess apply didn't do it. No, it's still keeping it black. Thanks. I like that.
I'll note it's going to be
We
gray if the
were-
saturation's cranked down, so I'd check
Right
that.
down here.
I'll
is where the-
fiddle
You
later.
may have changed the hue without changing the saturation.
So, creature was over here.
Yes.
You guys were over here.
Oh, I was thinking it was like
Aren't you
close
north?
to us.
Yeah.
You guys,
Okay.
it was 100 yards across the water.
Okay.
Oh.
So you guys would have had to have walked around, and it was shambling in roughly this direction.
Looks pretty shamble.
So
So
by the
that's-
time you got over here, it was over here.
And then where was that magic we were looking at?
The magic that was detected here in this
Okay.
general area.
From where that creature was coming from.
Yes.
For all we okay. So then for all we know, that could have been a guard or something related. So definitely worth disengaging from it.
But the question is, do we want to continue towards the direction and check it out here?
Check
or
out the
do we
magic.
Or do we think it was the magic and we would just want to move on?
Well, the thing I'm going to bring up from, I guess it's been about 2 hours now, is we have been tasked to find out what the undead that supposedly have attacked this thing are, find and eliminate them and their leader.
Yeah.
Is that
And if
correct?
it could be affiliated.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're doing
Can I do this just to clarify? This seems like it's south.
That is let's not go off of I'm looking at how I'm looking at it, so yeah, that would be because that is north. Let me just
South.
get rid of that. Nope. Said get rid of that, you BS. There we go. Oh no. God damn it all.
Having fun there.
I
Also,
wanted to
why is
select-
there gold everywhere? Stop it.
I was trying to
Okay,
put the gold
so-
back
so-
in
rough
something.
I can erase my own vector lines.
circle.
So-
This is not completely accurate. You guys were nya. It was nya. It walked this way. You encountered it nya. North. East.
The gold has been placed back in its bag. May it stay there.
What I was assuming when you guys said get back onto what you were doing before, you were walking roughly this way. And
Sir,
so I
your
assumed
artistic
you were
capabilities.
going this way.
Got it. Okay.
You
that
should
mean-
see my markings for locates. It is awful. Okay, so over here-ish for a couple more hours
I was gonna
would
say.
be with the skulls with candles I was describing earlier,
Ooh.
and it's closer to the original batch of bad juju you were sensing. Or
Speaking of,
you could more thoroughly investigate over Nya, where the thing was sensed, track Oogly Boogly Zamboni, or go fishing. I don't know.
So
this isn't an RPG.
is-
We don't go fishing.
That's
is
what you think.
Magnus
MMO.
aware
There
that
you go.
these are two distinctly different patches of dark energy? Is that
Thing is, the thing that
common
Magnus
knowledge?
the thing that Magnus sensed was in a wide general area to the northeast. He couldn't pinpoint it. You guys have been going off of from the site, which was north. That was the attack site. So let's say this is the town. This is where the attack happened. This is where you guys went. This is where you encountered Zombie Pond, as I'm going to call it now. And then this is where I assumed you guys walked to.
Okay. So, I
Does that make
believe-
sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I
this part
believe,
this part can be erased from all history. If you guys want to examine down here more or follow zombie gator thing, you guys totally can. Is that up to you
Oh
guys?
dear leader.
Fakin made a correlation between the markings and the glow of that zombie thing towards that dagger and what
A
whatever.
misplaced. Oh, the glow of the zombie and the
Samuel.
Morgoth.
Yeah, like a correlation between that and some kind of a magic.
It's a mildly different green. So
Okay, do you think
vastly
it's
different
similar?
thing potentially.
You think it's different?
Yes.
Okay. If it's not, if you don't think it's related to the dagger, let's press on to the northeast then.
Oh, I think it's unrelated to the communication. I think it's unrelated to Samuel. And this is very broken up dialect, by the way.
Yeah,
No,
Samuel,
different,
we're
different
all,
green.
we're all
So
just
green.
grasping at straws here, and we're all guessing. So let's put it to a vote. I'm thinking let's keep going northeast then.
Yes, follow Meg. Magus.
Okay. We
That
got 2 for
seems
northeast.
that
Anyone
seems
opposed?
Like where,
Northeast sounds good.
yeah, the major attraction is.
Sure.
All right.
Also, if we proceed northeast, I'll note: have any of you ever walked a particularly excitable dog?
Not for a long
Seen
time.
it happen.
No,
Yeah,
the
have you-
whole thing where they're darting back and forth in front of you, smelling random shit. I'm doing that minus the smelling.
Have you been to a convention with Brandon?
I haven't. No,
There you go.
I don't go
Uh.
anywhere with Brandon. I know better.
I'm so sad about Detour. Anyway.
But now we
Um,
have this.
Yes, now we have this. Anyway,
Alright.
so go away, Arrow. Arrow, why?
So I'm in front of you, darting back and forth between random shit.
So, rewinding. Sorry about that confusion.
Yes.
You guys do reach this path that is lit by skulls covered in candles.
Cool. What is
Um,
the skull's flavor? And I mean that literally.
I have to ask John, human or wolf?
Currently human. Give it a second.
if you are licking the skulls, they
Yes.
taste like what swamp water smells like mixed with wax.
Ah, I understand the concept. I have too tasted lake.
Ah, yes. Delicious lake.
And as you notice, it looks like there is some moss and other plant growth growing around and inside the skulls. They have been there a while and are fairly coated in wax.
Mmm.
As you guys continue walking, you eventually see another big pond. This actually looks big enough where it might be a lake. It's in that in-between area. And in the middle of it is a raised cottage. It's raised up on stilts.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what
Is
spelling
made-
of raised?
And it is made out of twigs, moss, and
If there
looks
are
like some
any-
other vegetation.
If there are any foul components, I am going to throw something at you.
No, that's farther north.
Don't worry.
And
the birds
also
are-
is technically part Steamjack.
Oh.
It's weird. Anyway.
Fantastic.
Yep. Don't worry, she only pops up if I hate you guys.
Continuing.
Suddenly, the Russian site with some of these things makes much more sense.
There's a whole faction that's basically steampunk Russia.
Where was this game developed?
US.
It was okay. It's just being posted on a Russian file share site because of course it is.
In Russia, file share you.
That sounded so tired. Oh my god.
I'm good.
You're doing okay there, Frank?
Yeah, I'm good. I might
Who's-
take.
Hmm?
I'm gonna take a couple minutes and go pee and grab a smoke quick.
Okay.
That's
Well,
fair.
If you're
Oh,
gonna get a smoke,
music.
should we take a? Yeah, should we
Yeah,
grab a
you-
quick bite? I want a
Yeah,
snack.
let's
Yeah,
take
do
a
you wanna
quick
take
little
a
break.
break?
Let's say quick 10, 15. I wasn't planning to go later than 11:30 because I've been up since 6 a.m.
Weak.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Sounds
Back
good.
in 5.
We may end up doing a part 2 tomorrow.
I was thinking next week because I was planning for this to be a 3-parter actually.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Good.
I know we had discussed this. That's why it's not proceeding quickly. I'm leaving crumbs here and there. It's supposed to seem like a jumbled mess right now, so don't worry.
It's not quite
Okay.
as rushed, yes.
I've been engaged. I've enjoying it so far, so I'm down with it.
I will
Sounds
say,
good.
yeah.
Back in
So
Matt's back.
Good.
Looks like Frank and Ian are still AFK.
Yeah.
There was someone dropped in.
Really? I was hoping that
Unless that was
I know that I signed in.
yeah, someone
hoping
actually dropped in
dedicated
for a little bit.
camera signed in, said words.
And it looks like Kelsey found a bot. So, all right. I mean, yeah. Let's cut in for a few seconds and then sign out.
Wait, Hyper Lulz. I feel like I know who that is.
It's like LOL, but hyper.
Also, thank you, Kelsey, for helping with all this.
Yep,
I know you're probably bored out of your mind.
something like that.
I don't know if she can hear me, but either way.
She can.
As John sits here and spins a 24-inch ruler.
So you can see I'm the one doing that.
It's outlined in purple.
Damn it!
Okay,
My hand is
so-
over here. I'm
So
not doing
once
it.
Frank gets back, we'll have announcements closing because Chin had to duck out for the night. He was passing out. Yeah.
I don't. Are we currently transmitting?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
And the background on the stream, apparently the observer gets to ignore Fog of War.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
I'm back.
Yay.
I was
Okay.
about to make a comment about getting the fuck out while we take a shot.
Okay.
Yeah, Frank gets back, and everyone else is gone.
That's not what I meant. I meant the game get the fuck out. But okay.
So
yeah, we could do that.
I was hoping for Factorio, but
I could play that too. Anyway, continuing.
Oh, at
So-
11:30.
No.
so one of our party members had to duck out. So we're going to end the session here at this point, which everyone does get an experience point for participating,
Woo!
which can add up because I forgot how much you guys need. I think
We need more than one.
I think it's 21 and you guys level up.
18.
18, my bad. 18. So
And what are we at again?
15.
15. So now we're at 16.
16.
Yep. So next time we will continue on the hunt to find this source of negative energy and see what the hell is going on. Why the artifact was stolen, who stole it, and so on and so forth.
Are we able to get an extra experience point if we resolved any connections?
What did you resolve?
Never mind.
Stop it.
Two of the people understood what I was getting at. Don't worry about it.
What?
Alrighty. So,
Stop making fun of systems I like.
It's a fun system.
One of these things I gotta get you guys to try Warhammer Fantasy. Alrighty. So
Let's sign off first.
Yep. Sign off, everyone. Thank you for watching. If anyone watched, we'll be meeting again next week, I believe, to have part 2. And what's our catchphrase again?
Cheers.
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 Stay frosty.